What's going on, my fellow A-Plusers? Welcome back once again to a brand new episode of A-Plus Morphinominal, your weekly stop for your Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, Tokusatsu news and reviews. We do a little bit of all of it here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for certainly joining us once again for a brand new episode, live every Saturday at noon Central Time. It's great to see some of you guys' familiar faces around here. Before we get started, just a quick disclaimer. I'm still battling my allergies, so if I sound a little funky or I sound a little weird today, certainly don't mind me. I'll be drinking a bunch of water, a bunch of tea. When you literally live with like 7, 8 dogs and a cat, I feel like my allergies are always acting up, honestly. Guys, we've got ourselves a great show for you guys today. Dino Fury is going to be here before we know it. The second part of season 1. We got some episode descriptions to go ahead and break down for you guys. We even have some titles as well to maybe go with some of those episodes. We're going to be getting into Power Rangers issue 11 preview for you guys. I believe that's going to be here before we know it, maybe within the next week or two, if I'm not mistaken. And we've got some Tokusatsu news for you guys also. Yeah, it should be certainly a fun day today. Let's see who's in our live chat. I know some of you came in here rather early getting hyped for this week's particular episode. I'm going to be honest with you. I literally went out last night to go ahead and check out Shang-Chi, the new Marvel movie. Hung out with my friend Jonathan and his lovely wife, Lavi. Got the opportunity to me and the girlfriend hung out with them. A little bit of a double date, if you will. Finally getting the chance to kind of catch up with one another. So we went to the movies last night. And then afterwards, we went out for some dinner afterwards. And by the time I wind up getting home, it was like maybe 12:30 or so. Super late at night. So I literally did not get the opportunity to go ahead and get this episode ready yesterday. I usually like to be at least ahead of the curve a little bit. So I literally had to wake up around 9 o'clock this morning. I set my alarm clock for 9 o'clock. Doesn't mean I woke up at 9 o'clock. I didn't get up to maybe 10 to go ahead and try and quickly put together this week's episode. So hopefully it won't be too all over the place. Hopefully we'll have something really special for you guys today. I did have an announcement. I am going to hold off on at least one of the announcements. Well, I had 2 announcements I was going to make today. But you know what? One of them, I shot my shot. Somebody reached back to me. I in turn contacted them. I have not heard back yet within maybe the past 5 days or so. So if anything, maybe later on today, I will go ahead and make an announcement in regards to that. I'm hoping it really comes together. I truly hope that it is. I've got myself a convention coming up here rather soon. We got the Dallas Fan Expo in our area. I don't believe there's going to be any Power Rangers there this time around. I think it's September 17th through the 19th. I don't believe there's going to be any Power Rangers there. I'll keep my fingers crossed and check the celebrity listing again. Because if anything, I want to go ahead and start bringing you guys Power Ranger panels from some of the conventions that we certainly travel to throughout the year, since conventions are starting to open up again with the vaccine and everything like that being out there. I don't want to say I'm surprised that Texas is still doing their Dallas Fan Expo. It shouldn't surprise me at this point in time. But I'm going to be there in attendance here within the next week or so, or a week and a half or so. So really looking forward to that. So over on A+ Hero Report, we probably will be having some panels that we recorded from that particular event. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and give some shout outs to some people that are here today. Let's see. We got the A Games 10 in the house. He said we do have episode titles for episode 13 to 15 now. I'll DM you. Thank you very much, the A Games 10. I certainly did get those. Power Rangers ready in the house. We got Koala here also. Brian in the house also. Thank you very much, man, for certainly coming through. Enrique, he says it's here. The new superhero timeline for new Kamen Rider Revice and Zenkaiger's debut of an upgraded Stay Caesar. Ooh, plus, was that Aber Remax and Super Gosai Red will appear? Oh, okay. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I haven't really kept up with the scans so much. Usually like the second half of the seasons, just because of the fact that I try and keep some sort of surprise for me going into a season, right? Like I usually stop reading and looking at magazine scans probably once like the additional Ranger kind of comes on board and maybe an upgrade here or two. But then after that, I just stopped looking at magazine scans because I do want some of the series to be a surprise for me. Johnny, what's up, Johnny? Johnny Marrero in the house. And speaking of surprises and non-spoilers, beginning next week, I probably will have a non-spoiler Dino Fury tag up on our screen here, since we are going to be getting, I think the UK and France, or the UK in general, I believe, does start getting episodes here rather soon. I was kind of hoping that we would be able to avoid some of the international spoilers and things like that with Netflix and whatnot. But maybe we won't be too far behind, as we usually sometimes tend to be each and every year. Because I do know that September 18th does mark the return for Power Rangers Dino Fury here on Nickelodeon. And then eventually they'll start, I think they'll start doing episodes 9, 10, 11. And then come October, we'll be having ourselves episode 12, a brand new episode. So I don't believe we'll be too far behind, but don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Who else we got in here? Blossom's in the house. What's up, Blossom? Appreciate you coming through. Richie, what's up, Richie? My uncle's name is Richie, actually. He says, wow, that's right. We are still in season 1. I'm hyped to see how big of a fan Hasbro really is. Can't wait to see if we get the vibe level of In Space and the movies. I want to feel like we're going places. I understand that, Richie. I think Simon Bennett probably has some great things in store for us. JB says, what? Is in the house. Also, man, we got Frankie in here. Good to see you. Datilla. Good to see you, Datilla. Datilla says, yesterday was the 20th anniversary of Twee's passing. I know, man. It's always so sad. Always so sad each and every year that it winds up hitting. So rest in peace. Rest in peace for sure. I think a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, we did a little bit of a memorial service for her, I believe, or at least we showed a video, like an interview of hers that she wound up having with the original cast and stuff, talking a little bit about her life, where she came from, the struggles and things like that. So yeah, I always go back to that thought whenever her anniversary pops up. Jordan, what's up, Jordan? Good to see you in here. Ram Jam in the house. Also, Sayz in the building. Thank you very much, guys. Red is not a flavor. What's going on? He says, man, when are we getting new episodes? They're going to be here before you know. September 18th, Nickelodeon starts episode 9. And then I do believe in October, we will be getting new episodes. So look out for it. Red is not a flavor. Jared's in the house. Thank you very much, man, for certainly coming through. What's up, Adam? And what's up, everyone? And Adam and making the Power Rangers What If, kind of like Marvel What If, for my channel. Very cool. Very cool. We got Alden in the house. Good to see you, man. Tony Robinson's here along with Isaiah. What's up, Isaiah? Good to see you in here also, man. Edward Sanchez Productions making their presence felt in here also. Should be a good episode, guys. And listen, if you're in the live chat, if you pop in here from time to time, do me a big favor, hit that like button. It definitely does go a long way in regards to views for our channel. And then towards the end of our episode, if there's any other comments that you guys might have, certainly go ahead and let your thoughts be known in the comment section box. It definitely helps the algorithm as well, ladies and gentlemen. So I think with that out of the way, we only got like 5 topics that we're going to be talking about today. But because of the fact that we got some episode descriptions, I don't know how long that's going to run for. But if anything, it should be a pretty good show. And then, of course, at the end of our episode, we definitely have your guys's live viewer questions. If you ever want to go ahead and submit a live viewer question over, feel free to go ahead and do so at aplusmorphinominal@gmail.com. Again, aplusmorphinominal@gmail.com. Just in case we get so many people in the live chat, I'm not able to get to everybody's comments. So I might, in fact, miss yours. So if you do have a question or a comment that you definitely want to make sure it gets thrown on air, definitely go ahead and submit it over anytime during the week, and we'll get to it towards the end of this episode. Quick shout out to Emmanuel also. He says, so 5 weeks, October 9th, episode 12 comes to the States. Dang, Nick, right? I know. So if anybody's wondering, mark your calendars, guys. Mark your calendars. It'll be here. Watch. September's going to fly by, man. September's going to fly by. September will be my month of ducking and dodging, Heisman Trophy stiff arming spoilers. I will say I feel like I probably am at my fill of spoilers right now. The idea that we do have one photo that we're going to be presenting to you guys today that might be spoilerish for some people. It's based off of a topic that we've talked about very openly here before in regards to the return of Lord Zed, if you will. So we will be talking about that. So when it comes to like episode descriptions, titles, and things like that. Most of the time when it comes to photos, I try and avoid, like, especially on my Twitter account, I see a photo and I'm like, oh, that's new. I just kind of scroll past it as fast as I can, so I can't make out what it is. I do have a couple of things already muted in my conversations, like hashtag Dino Fury spoilers, maybe some Power Ranger spoilers. So I am trying to avoid as much as I possibly can. Johnny says, are you tired of the hiatuses? Are you, Adam? This year hasn't felt so bad. I think because of the fact that Netflix did give us a couple of brand new episodes, it hasn't felt that bad. But I am a little bit tired of the hiatuses from time to time, especially when they tend to last that long. I'm sure we're probably still going to be getting hiatuses even when it does move over to Netflix, because I am very much under the impression that we'll probably get a part 1 and a part 2 of the season dropping. I don't know if we're going to be getting all the episodes all at once. I could be wrong, though. I absolutely could be wrong. But it should be interesting to see how long we might have to wait if they do break it up into part 1 and part 2 on Netflix. So hopefully not as long as what we had to do with Nickelodeon, but we'll definitely see. Speaking of spoilers, Red's Not a Flavor says, I'm not ducking anything. It's been too long. I want these European episodes to hit me in the face. Hey, whatever works for you, Red is Not a Flavor. Whatever works for you. For me, I personally just like watching them live, premiering here for the very first time. Although I feel like probably 80% of my audience will have watched the European episodes by the time it actually winds up hitting here. I'll probably be the last person to actually know what's going on in the season. So, guys, you know what? Let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Fuck it. Let's just go ahead and dive into this week's episode, ladies and gentlemen. And that's right. Episode descriptions are finally here. We wind up getting the remainder episodes from 13 to 21, 22. I'll look at the graphic here in just a little bit. While we do have a Halloween themed episode, there is also very much a Christmas special in here as well with you guys, and of course some great finale certainly lined up. I've been really waiting for these episode descriptions. I have not read through all of them. I think there's maybe like 2 episodes that I've actually kind of looked at to kind of see what we might get into. So I'm eager to certainly share my thoughts with you guys and see exactly what we're going to be getting for the second half of Dino Fury. Been really impressed with what we've gotten so far in episode 1. The cast and everybody has really been talking up a lot of the big surprises, twists and turns, things that we probably are not even expecting to happen in here. This has been a season of firsts, and I'm sure plenty more to certainly come. We're going to talk about it, guys. So let's go ahead and get into some of these episode descriptions. You may not see my handsome face on the camera for a while as we go ahead and talk about these. So certainly stay put if you guys would like to. But let's go ahead and get through some of these. And thanks to the A Games 10, we at least do have episode titles for the first 3 here. So episode number 13, according to him, actually was found on a UK website called The Matchmaker. This is Javi thinks Izzy has a crush on a friend, and he sets them up on a date, but his assumption causes big problems when the monsters smell love in the air. And you know what happens when you make assumptions, guys, right? You make an ass out of you and me, according to, just grown up lore, I guess. But it's true. It's true. Don't assume things. But yeah, Javi tries to set up his sister. That alone should be humorous to watch, because I do love Javi and Izzy together. Just their chemistry on screen absolutely works. They definitely come across as siblings. Just some of the pokes and jabs and little jokes that they have for each other, right? The whole, he gets pretty gassy. She gets pretty gassy before competition sort of thing. So the idea here of Javi trying to be that big brother and maybe overstep his boundaries and try and hooking up him, or I should say Izzy and a friend of his, clearly it goes wrong. It goes wrong as we got ourselves a love monster in here. So Javi clearly is the matchmaker, maybe not necessarily the best matchmaker when it comes to things, but this should be interesting. Now, listen, I will say this. Do I have the graphic? I don't believe I have the graphic. Bear with me here, guys. Bear with me here. I want to see if I can find something because it does go in part with this episode. because this past week, Chance Perez has been doing a lot of interviews, guys. He's been getting his voice heard out there. And recently he said something in one of these articles that really wind up grabbing people's attention in regards to something Izzy related. And it goes back to the idea of this season being a season of firsts. Let me see if I can go ahead and pull this up here. Yeah, there we go. Dino Fury, boom, saved. All right, let me go ahead and bring this image up for you guys. Because I have been seeing a ton of people making assumptions in regards to what this could potentially mean. So let me see if I can locate it here. There we go. Okay. So this was posted recently. Multi-talented artist Chance Perez, what's your favorite character arc or plot line so far from Power Rangers Dino Fury? He says, my favorite characters arc thus far has to be Izzy's. I think each character goes through growth and overcomes different obstacles. However, the reason I chose Izzy is that I feel there's probably tons of people of all ages who can relate to things that she goes through in life. She is one of those characters that will make waves in modern television in a great way. And a lot of people are suggesting the idea here that Chance Perez might have let it out of the bag that Izzy Garcia's character, that Izzy might in fact be gay or lesbian or whatever the case may be. Definitely representing sort of as a part of the LGBTQ community. So that's what people are reading into it. So when you hear something like this in regards to, Javi trying to set up Izzy with one of his friends, making an assumption that causes big problems. Clearly, it doesn't go the way that Javi certainly thinks. I think some people may be under the assumption that maybe this is the episode in which Izzy either comes out and admits it, or the fact that she's just not into men, or whatever the case may be. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but I will say this: it's not out of the realm of possibility. We've talked about this plenty of times on APlus Morphinominal. The idea that since this is a season of first, a lot of people have been talking about just shipping, right? Like if you could ship any of these characters together, who would you certainly ship? And while I definitely wouldn't mind seeing somebody like an Amelia and an Ollie maybe get together or whatever the case may be, one, I don't necessarily think that a relationship needs to happen in Power Rangers. But two, one of the things that I've said, and I've said countless times, it would not surprise me. It would not surprise me if either Amelia or Izzy came out as, representation of LGBTQ. I would be really interested. Bisexual, lesbian, gay, whatever the case may be. Like, I would be rather interested to see if they go down that path. Do I think that they will? I do. I definitely do. I feel like they're very much aware. Simon Bennett certainly is very much aware. The lengths that they certainly have been going through, especially just the first half of season 1, to make quite an impression. It wouldn't surprise me. Am I 100% certain? Absolutely not. But it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. So could episode 13 be it? The matchmaker. Seeing that clearly, Javi thinks that Izzy has a crush on a friend and he tries to set them up on a date, but his assumptions causes big problems when the monster smells love in the air. If there is love in the air, I am kind of curious to know, like, okay, so if there is love in the air, what is the love that this monster is smelling? If it's Javi trying to set Izzy up with his friend, and it clearly doesn't go well, there's no love there, right? So will we get a peek to who Izzy might be rather fond of, right? Like, is the monster picking up on the scent of love, but it's maybe not necessarily for Javi's friend, and it gets discovered somewhere else, some way else through that, right? I think that would be actually pretty cool if you ask me. The idea of this monster clearly smelling that there's an attraction somewhere, but it's not necessarily Izzy and homeboy, but maybe Izzy and homegirl somewhere. And I think that would be pretty fun to kind of navigate around. So we'll see what happens. But I definitely would love to know your guys' thoughts, especially in regards to this. Again, I do think that it certainly is a possibility, either Amelia or Izzy coming out. But I'm kind of curious to know what you guys think. Again, that's episode 13. Let your thoughts be known in the live chat. Episode 14, according to the A Games 10, is titled Old Foes. He says episodes 14 and 15 was found on a German TV listing site. So episode 14, titled Old Foes, it says Ollie boasts to his friends that he's afraid of nothing. But when the other Rangers are captured by a formidable foe, Ollie realizes his biggest fear. This episode description is so much better than the episode descriptions that I feel like we talked about just a couple of days ago. It was super elaborate. It almost felt like it had two parts to it. The fact that they literally in here give us like 2 sentences, shorten it down, it almost so much easier to truly understand. This definitely feels like the Halloween episode that we certainly were going to be getting here. But yeah, Ollie boasts to his friends that he's afraid of nothing. But when the other Rangers are captured by a formidable foe, Ollie realizes his biggest fear. And this is, in fact, where Lord Zed certainly comes in. And one of the things that we talked about, I was trying to figure out, how are they going to play up the Lord Zed return? Are we really going to get, like, I'm still wondering, is this Lord Zed like as we know it, or is it like some weird sort of bringing the spirit of Lord Zed back sort of mentality, right? Like, is there a monster that's recreating these monsters, or is this the actual Lord Zed that we've known from the original MMPR, right? Or is it just him back in a costume, but it's a something else entirely that's managed to kind of bring him back? Well, one of the things that I will say we finally got some clarity on, we will be seeing Homeboy in costume. Make no mistake about it. Here's, in fact, the photo that I was referring to you guys about that does, in fact, show our Rangers not only captured, but also Lord Zed himself standing there in the costume. It looks like he's talking to another monster. I don't know if that's a monster that he brought forth or a monster that maybe brought back Lord Zed himself. We do see a couple of other creatures there also. Is that the Fang monster that we saw that was chasing Mick in episode 8, the Nexus Prism to the left of Lord Zed? I can't see who the other monster is to his right. So this almost makes me want to know if maybe it's the monster that's recreating past formidable foes of the Rangers. And so we got Zed, and then along with that Fang howling wolf sort of monster that he's bringing back too. That I'm not quite sure about. I really have no idea. I'm just going solely based off of what I'm seeing in the image here. But Lord Zed is back, you know, in some capacity or another, which is going to be trippy to kind of see how he's handled. Now, you guys know I was very critical of the news of Lord Zed returning. I think, look, listen, I trust Simon Bennett. The way that he's been managing to incorporate just past Power Rangers seasons, Easter eggs, we've seen him do it fantastically well in Beast Morphers. I do think if they have a plan and a reason to bring back this character, it should be a fun one. And I do think that they'll execute it well. I guess for me as a fan, I'm just very protective of Lord Zed. And I do hope that if anything, that this is a sort of memorial episode to Robert Axelrod. I think that would be fantastic regardless. But I am curious to see how he's going to be handled, because I just don't want him to just, I want him to be threatening enough. But again, if he's just like a makeshift, you know, monster of the week that's bringing Lord Zed back for shits and giggles, okay, maybe I would be okay with that. But if it's Lord Zed himself, you got to come to impress. Any other way, we'll see how it's certainly handled. But yeah, Lord Zed is going to be here rather soon. So episode 14 looks like that's going to be our Halloween special. And I will also say, too, Simon Bennett has spoken up this week, and he has mentioned that episodes 13 and episodes 21, the finale, are his favorite episodes. So I think that might also go into play in regards to, is episode 13 the reveal of Izzy and, you know, her true sort of sexual orientation, if you will, right? Will Izzy sort of come out? The fact that it's a matchmaking episode and Simon considers it one of his favorite episodes, there's got to be more to it than just a matchmaking episode. You know what I mean? So I think there might be some evidence towards suggesting we might have ourselves something really, really great on our hands in episode number 13 with perhaps another first. So we'll see. So again, Simon Bennett points out episodes 13 and 21 are his favorites. I can't remember. He did mention something last for the first half of season 1. What episode was his favorite? He might have said New Recruits. I can't remember what episode he suggested. It might have been episode number 4. And that episode didn't disappoint either. So if Simon Bennett has some favorites, those are some episodes we clearly have to pay attention to. Episode 15, guys. Let's move on to episode 15. Again, this one is titled Storm Surge. Again, found from the German TV listing thanks to the A Games 10. So Storm Surge is the title for episode 15. Ali agrees to help Javi with a story, but his desire for a new tech distracts him from his promise. The villains exploit his obsession, and Ali learns a lesson about priorities. Okay, I kind of dig it. We saw Ali and his inventions maybe get the best of him when our Rangers wind up going camping, right? The Rangers clearly judged this dude on some of his inventions that he wind up making, but his inventions clearly helped him at the end of the day getting out of the forest. So the fact here that we see Ali messing with his technology, once again, new tech distracting him from something that he's supposed to be helping Javi with. It should be interesting for a spotlight episode for Ali and Javi, just to kind of see those two characters interacting for a change. And I do feel like I do wonder if this is like if Simon and them tend to love their Blue Rangers. I feel like Ali certainly has been getting a lot of shine, a lot of fair shine for the most part. Although I feel like even somebody like Amelia's had like 2 spotlight episodes and things like that. I do feel like they enjoy really highlighting whoever their Blue Ranger is, maybe because of the fact that I don't want to say it's like the odd man out, but a lot of the tension tends to usually be on the Red Ranger, the Gold Ranger, and things like that. And they did such a great job with Ravi from Beast Morphers and really highlighting him and giving him a lot more storyline than I even was certainly expecting. So I love this. I love this. It looks like we've got at least 2 back-to-back focused Ali episodes in episode 14, along with episode number 15 here as well. So definitely looking out for that one. And the one thing that I will say, guys, going into these first 3 episodes, one of the things that we've been trying to figure out for quite some time is, you know, if where's the Gold Ranger going to pop up at? I think one of the predictions that I had after a while when we didn't get it in episodes 9 through 11, one of the things that I thought was, yes, we definitely will be getting it the second half of Dino Fury. But I was under the impression at least the first 15 episodes, at least within the first 15 episodes, we would certainly get him. And based off of the descriptions alone so far for episodes 13, 14, and 15, not really seen anything. Although it would be great, especially once we get into the 16th episode description, it would be pretty cool if maybe at the end of episode 15, maybe there's a little bit of a tease of something else to come in regards to the Gold Ranger towards the end of episode 15 to maybe lead us into episode 16. I personally would really love that. But listen, the longer the wait, the better, if you ask me. Not that Canalo, the Gold Ranger from Real Soldier, not like he didn't have a lot of footage. He certainly did. But I love the fact that they're really allowing our characters to kind of breathe, our main characters to kind of get some spotlight, have their story certainly be told for quite some time, and then eventually bring in the Gold Ranger. As a fan, it's one of those things of, don't give me everything all at once, right? Hold off some surprises later in the season as much as you can. And the idea of thinking to ourselves that when it comes to episode 16, that might be the debut of the Gold Ranger in here. 16 episodes in out of what, a 22 or 21 arc season. I dig it. It doesn't overshadow the entire season itself, and you allow him to come in and have an immediate impact towards the end of the season. And I'm here for it, guys. I truly am. Hold on one moment. Sorry, guys, just had to blow my nose there for a little bit. And so yeah, episode 16, no title for that as of yet, but it says Ion, the new Gold Ranger, reveals the dark truth about Zeto's past, and the Rangers learn what makes a true leader. This is an episode I cannot wait to see. I cannot wait to see. This clearly already confirms, I don't want to say confirms, but this definitely already, to me, lets me know Ion certainly is from Rafcon. There clearly is a past, especially if he knows the dark truth about Zeto's past. One of the things that I've loved about Dino Fury so far has been the world building, has been the lore that it's certainly established very early on in this show. And the fact of Zeto really wanting to reach out to his people to see if Rafcon is certainly still around. It all makes me want to know more about not only Zeto's past, but just the world that he sort of left behind. You know what I mean? After those attacks and things like that. So, and clearly, it just almost makes me feel too like if we've got Ion, a new Gold Ranger, and he's coming in, nobody knows who this dude is. Maybe Zeto already knows who he is. He might be the original Gold Ranger from back in the day. But if this guy brand new on the scene comes in and starts revealing a dark past of yours, clearly I don't think these two were like chumming it up and sharing drinks and old stories and patting each other on the back. There clearly tends to be some animosity there, or maybe some type of negative feelings towards each other. And the fact that this explains that the Rangers learn what makes a true leader. Maybe this dark truth is really going to push Zeto to a particular point to really highlight his leadership roles even more. What truly makes a great Power Ranger leader, maybe Zeto will be put to the test in this episode. So episode 16 definitely has my attention so far, honestly. Episodes 13, 14 because of Zed, 16 because of the Gold Ranger. These are 3 episodes right now on my radar that I definitely want to go ahead and check out. And once we get a title for that, I'll definitely go ahead and let you guys know in regards to it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if episode 15 might have any Gold Ranger tease, and then episode 16. Episode 17, though, guys, Ion is given free ice cream as thanks for a heroic act. Okay, and the perks go to his head. Really, free ice cream is enough to make you become like immediately arrogant. It says when his Zord is captured, Ion learns what it means to be a real hero. So episode 16, Rangers learn what makes to be a true leader. Ion learns the lesson in episode 17, what it means to be a real hero. I think for me, at least, this is definitely going to give us a gauge of Ion's personality. I feel like how close to Canalo from Real Soldier is this guy going to be? Is he going to be one of these overly flamboyant and arrogant sort of guys, right? Does he just have a bunch of swag? I mean, look, Jordan Fight's already got a bunch of swag as it is. So I am kind of curious to see how that's going to kind of translate. I mean, Homeboy gets free ice cream for a heroic act, and then it kind of goes to his head. I'm wondering if he's expecting rewards every time that he does sort of a good deed. Is he expecting something in return now, sort of thing? So I definitely do think that it will put Ion's sort of personality to the test. Is Homeboy here looking for love? Is he trying to garner attention, sort of thing, right? Is he just that type of character? We'll definitely have to see in regards to that. So I do think episode 17 will be the personality test for Ion to see exactly who he is. Episode number 18 says Izzy attempts to hide her struggles with electronics class, putting the Rangers at risk when they rely on those skills during battle. One of my biggest questions just reading this is why are they relying on Izzy for electronic skills when they clearly have Ollie, who's the electronic guru? So I am kind of curious if something's happened to Kai, or I should say, has something happened to Ollie? Is he out of commission? Is Izzy literally like their last hope? Like, oh, well, Izzy's taking electronics class. She should know this. And she's like, guys, I got a D though in this class, you know? Like I'm kind of curious as to what forces Izzy in that particular role to be, you know, have to do the heavy lifting with maybe Ollie not necessarily there. We'll see what happens though. But yeah, episode 18, Izzy attempts to hide her struggles with electronics class, putting the Rangers at risk when they rely on those skills during battle. And now, guys, now we're starting to get into the later episodes. And I'm really hoping that when it comes to these later episodes, that it's build up to a fantastic season finale for season 1. Episode 19, the villains use Sporix beasts with body-swapping powers to chase pirate treasure, which interferes with Amelia's attempt to make over Pop Pop for a date. What? Pop Pop's getting some action? I love it, Pop Pop. Listen, you're never too old and enjoy it with somebody. So the fact that Pop Pop is getting a makeover for a potential date, I cannot wait to see this. One, Pop Pop usually always brings just a great vibe about him. That's just really hard to kind of stay like to not stare at the set when he's on TV. Just his personality is so damn lovable and contagious that I love when Pop Pop is around. Pop Pop's appearance also, to me, kind of screams maybe we'll get further development in Amelia's story. I'm really hoping that we get more heartfelt moments between these two. Maybe the idea of Pop Pop finding love again. Maybe somehow it connects back to Amelia's parents and things like that. I'm hoping they have themselves a really great heart-to-heart conversation. But the fact that Pop Pop this is like his 3rd appearance in the very first season. Huge character, clearly an important character. But the villains use a Sporix beast with body swapping powers to chase pirate treasure. And for some reason, when I think pirate treasure, I'll automatically go to like Super Mega Force or like Zenkaiger. Like I'm wondering if there's any sort of Zenkaiger character or Super Mega Force character that might pop up in here as part of a pirate treasure hunt or whatever the case may be. So should be interesting to see what the Sporix beast is certainly capable of. This looks like it's going to be another Amelia-centric episode, and I'm here for anytime Hunter Dino is on screen. So yeah, Amelia and Pop Up and pirate treasure. Sounds like a solid episode for me. So right now, episodes 13 I'm excited for, 14 I'm excited for, 16 I'm excited for. Yeah, those are still the 3 that I'm really excited for. 17, we'll see. We'll see how excited for it I am. But 13, 14, 16, and 19 for sure are the ones that I'm really looking forward to. Episodes 20, seeking new Zords. Ooh, we're getting more Zords in the upgrade. Zato is trapped on a distant planet. And Ion makes a risky trip to save him. Together, they must confront the nightmares of their past and the Zords before the Zords can be found. This is a great sounding episode. I can't fucking describe how excited I am for this one right here. First off, a distant planet. So we're going to be getting ourselves new sort of, I would hope maybe some new set photos, unless they just find a really great desolate place out in New Zealand to make it look like a distant planet. But I love the fact here that we are sort of going off Earth, and not just Zato is going with him, but Ion. We're literally getting ourselves an off-planet adventure between these two. That sounds so freaking exciting to me. And the fact that, again, they're going to be confronted with nightmares on their past, again, really forcing Zato and Ion to have to face the struggles, the more dark truths maybe from Zato's past also. I cannot wait to see this character fully fleshed out even more, especially these two working together on a distant planet. This sounds incredible to me. I'm hoping when it comes to seeking the new Zords that maybe we have ourselves a villain that's sort of that like by this time in episode 20, that Void Knight or whatever the case may be, that if there is a bigger bad that's going to be presenting themselves in here, I'm hoping the idea of seeking new Zords is because they need maybe new upgrades and new abilities in order to overcome who it is, instead of just like, hey guys, more toy sales. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope there's a reason that we're getting new Zords towards the end of the season instead of just giving us new Zords. So we'll see what happens here. But this sounds like a very promising episode in episode number 20. So we go from episode 20, which now officially has my attention as well, to episode number 21. The Rangers need Dr. Akana's help to stop Void Knight's evil scheme. This is where it's all coming together. His evil scheme is either about to come to fruition. Maybe he's finally gotten himself enough power to maybe awaken the love of his life here. But it says Ali disagrees with Zeto's plans, afraid it will put his mother in danger. Void Knight's evil scheme, Dr. Akana in danger. Ali clearly going to have to either make some sacrifices in here or really push the envelope with him disagreeing with Zeto's plans to protect his mom. This sounds like this is going to be a rather intense episode, to certainly say the least. This feels like a proper build-up in here, especially episodes 20 and 21. If his evil scheme is coming together, I do think that this will make for a great season finale. So, guys, not too bad in regards to some episode descriptions. Some that I don't really necessarily care about, not to say that they're going to be terrible episodes. They could potentially be great. But the ones that I am looking forward to the most, 13, 14, 16, and honestly, the last three, 19, 20, and 21. There's really few episodes in here that I'm not hyped about and not pumped about. I cannot wait for this. Episode 22, though, definitely is a Christmas special. It says, while the Rangers fight to get Santa's magic sketchbook back from the villains, Javi and Solon are caught in a trap. So at least, listen, we get Solon some focus, which should be pretty interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if Solon does have a bigger role to play in maybe some of the Ion and Zato episodes too. But the fact that Javi and Solon are working together in the Christmas episode should be fun to kind of see how that comes together. We do have ourselves a Santa Claus that's going to be in there. And I do believe Simon Bennett has confirmed that it will be sort of like a Christmas clip show. So don't know how exciting or riveting that's going to be. But yeah, a Christmas special episode will certainly be here before we know it, guys. So yeah, I'm pumped for this. I'm pumped for this. They all sound pretty great to me, if you ask me. The fact that we're getting some really great character focus for Izzy, for Ali, Ion, Zato. We're even getting the opportunity to see Amelia and Pop back for some really great stuff. If there's any character that I don't want to say I'm surprised isn't getting more shine. Maybe we'll see him play a integral role as as a supporting character. But it's Javi. I definitely would love to have seen more Javi in these episode descriptions, especially just based off of what we know in regards to the relationship between Javi and Warden Garcia, his father, or Warden Asshole. Maybe that's a storyline and a story arc that they're waiting to reveal for the second season and talk a little bit more about. I will say this, though. With episode 13, if it does come to fruition, and episode 13 does tend to be the episode in which Izzy actually comes out and, reveals herself, her sexual orientation and things like that, I am going to be fascinated to know. Well, clearly, Javi probably doesn't have any idea. So I'm not under the impression that her father would know either. Because I am kind of curious, like, if Warden Garcia treats Javi the way that he does, especially in regards to the idea of like him just simply playing music, I am curious as to how Warden would react to the idea of finding out that his daughter is potentially, bisexual or gay or lesbian. I really would like to see his reaction to that. And I'm wondering if, again, this is if this is the direction Dino Fury is going in. I do wonder if the idea of Izzy not coming out and being her true self and letting her voice be heard, like, I do wonder if that's in part because she sees how Warden treats Javi over something as small as artistic talent and playing music. You know what I mean? Like, if you see your father responding that way over music, holy crap. Like, I don't know how he would react to the idea of her being gay. clearly he's super supportive of her as of right now, loves his daughter, helping her out with sports and activities and pushing her to be a champion and stuff like that. I do wonder if that's one of the reasons why Izzy hasn't come out and said anything, because she sees how her father treats her brother. It's just a storyline I really want to see them tackle, whether Izzy's gay or not, or recognizes as part of LGBTQ community. Regardless of that, that's a storyline that I certainly feel needs to be tackled and needs to be talked about. So the fact that it's almost non-existent, at least just based off of the episode descriptions, who knows? It could be in there for all we know. I definitely want to see that storyline happen. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it'll pop up in season 1 before it ends. But we'll see if it's something that they tackle in the second season. Now, Simon Bennett has come out and said that they have deliberately made these descriptions as bland and non-spoilery as they possibly can to kind of keep us away from knowing the true details of some of these episodes. So even though I may not necessarily see the Javi and Warden Garcia stuff plain as day in an episode description, it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's just the fact that they truly went out of their way to make these episodes as non-descriptive as possible to avoid spoiling the fans, which I gotta appreciate. I definitely appreciate them for that. I truly do. You want to keep some level of suspense. You don't want to give it all away, sort of thing. And I think Simon Bennett and them are onto something really, truly special this season, guys. I want to know your guys' thoughts, though. You see these episodes descriptions and hear these episode descriptions. What episodes are you guys specifically looking forward to that truly jumps out at you? When you read these descriptions, does it give you excitement for the remainder of season 1? Or do these just sound like a waste of your time? I definitely would love to know what you guys think in the live chat or the comment section box below. But for me, I'm pumped. I'm absolutely pumped. And in connection to this story, I do want to highlight one thing, and then I will jump into the comments and just see what some of you guys are saying in regards to these episode descriptions. I do want to jump to a next segment that we have here in our Simon Says segment. What's up, Simon? Haven't seen you here in a minute, man. Listen, you've been way too quiet on IG, on Twitter, but I feel like this week you got your mojo back, man. You got your swag back. You said some things that I think is interesting that we all, as fans, need to pay attention to. So high five, buddy. No? You got to stop being so damn cold with that. But Simon Says, our segment of Simon Says is here. And this week, Simon had to put a fan in his place, y'all. Simon had to put a fan in his place. And he doesn't go hard on the guy, but listen, it's enough sometimes as a part of the fandom and the community. Sometimes, not to say that you guys are like this at all, but there are some fans out there that make us want to pull our hair out sometimes. And so I love the fact that Simon Bennett comes out and says something here. So let me go ahead and pull this up for you guys. This, let me see if I can share this with you. This was from Twitter. So somebody on Twitter was complaining about the episode descriptions. It says this tweet was deleted by the tweet author. So clearly after Simon said something, homeboy was like, you know what? I don't want to be that embarrassed, so I'm going to take some of these down. But it says, in the wake of traditional good first episodes, he still does not fully realize what had happened. However, I really want to believe that with the release of above episodes, Dino Fury will take away as much negativity as he can take away, and any potential plans to leave previous composition of. And he gets interrupted. The other tweets were in fact deleted because he was literally shitting on the episode descriptions, how boring that they certainly were, like how much when he read the episode descriptions himself, he just started shitting all over Dino Fury, to where Simon Bennett comes through and he says, my respectful, look, this man's so classy. My respectful suggestion is that you watch the actual episodes and base your critique on those rather just than assuming the worst. What did we say at the top of this episode, guys? Assuming makes an ass out of you and me. And clearly, Homeboy here on Twitter felt like an ass enough to go ahead and remove some of his previous tweets based upon a collection of deliberately bland and non-spoilery synopsises. So don't read everything about the episode in just these descriptions alone. They were deliberately written to be bland and non-spoilery to hide the greatness that is Dino Fury behind these episode descriptions in the actual episode themselves. So never base or never judge a book by its cover, and never judge an episode by its description, apparently, according to Simon Bennett. So my respectful suggestion is that you watch the actual episode and base your critique on those rather than assuming the worst based upon a collection of deliberately bland and non-spoilery synopsises. I think that's a lesson not only this guy needs to learn, but sometimes I think us as fans certainly do too. I do think that sometimes we can be relatively harsh on things before we've gotten the opportunity to actually see it for itself. So yeah, most definitely. Now, while I personally say, listen, I've got a couple episodes here, man, that I am keeping my eyes on. 13, 14, no, wait, yeah, 13, 14, 16, 19, 20, and 21. As hyped about those as I am, just based off of the descriptions, the other episodes don't sound extremely exciting to me, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be fire. It doesn't mean that they're not going to have great substance, great character work, great storyline pushing. You know what I mean? So it can't be too harsh on those episodes. I'm just simply pointing out the ones that I'm really personally looking forward to. But I'm definitely hoping Simon Bennett and the rest of the crew bring the heat. And I fully expect them to also. So yeah, some life lessons from Simon Bennett, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, I want to know your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about these episode descriptions? Let your thoughts be known in the live chat or the comment section box below. And with that, guys, I am going to move over to some of your comments and see what you guys are saying today. And you guys are super active today. I appreciate it, man. Super active. Let's see here. I may not make it through all these comments, guys. Just a heads up, because you guys are flaming the chat, which I love. Let's see here. Okay. All right. Episode descriptions. Here we go. Blossom says Lord Zed reappearing is still kind of baffling. Yeah, definitely baffling. I am kind of curious as to what brings him back. Again, that's episode 14. I am curious what brings him back. Does somebody else bring him back? We'll definitely have to see. Jinsaku's in the house. What's up, Jinsaku? Good to see you, man. Good to see you as always. Koala, he's here for episode 16. Let's go 16. He's pumped for episode 16 for sure. Good old Jordan Fight finally gets his debut. I'm sure Homeboy is excited. I'm sure he truly is excited to have waited as long as he has for his debut to finally be here. Johnny, he says, I feel like episode 16, Ion's debut, maybe 17, 19, 20, and 21 are going to be more story driven. Yeah, I do think it feels very much like those last three batches of episodes, 19, 20, and 21, will be like the really big money makers I'm hoping for the episode in regards to pushing the story forward for its finale. What was episode 17? Ion is given free ice cream as thanks for heroic act. Oh, the idea of really getting an opportunity to see his personality shine, to see what type of character we have. Definitely. Kamen Rider, what's up, Kamen? Good to see you in here, man. Charles in the house. Thank you very much, Charles, for certainly coming through. Johnny, he says, I'm calling it right now. Izzy could be LGBTQ just from the description of episode 13. Yeah, a lot of people are under that assumption, Johnny, especially based off of the comment that we wind up having from Chance Perez earlier this week, saying that his favorite character arc is Izzy. He says, I think the character goes through growth and overcomes different obstacles. However, the reason I chose Izzy is that I feel like there are probably tons of people of all ages who can relate to things that she goes through in her life. So yeah, it definitely potentially a reveal there for Izzy for sure. Goda, what's up, Goda? Appreciate you coming through. Says, I am wondering, maybe hoping that maybe it'll turn out Izzy's crushing on someone, but maybe not a guy. That's exactly what we were referring to. Was if the monster smells love in the air, right? Like if there's clearly no attraction between Izzy and this guy that Javi's trying to hook her up with, where's the smell of love coming from? So I would be curious to see, like, if we eventually see who Izzy truly has her eyes out on. Who knows? Maybe it's Amelia, man. Maybe Amelia and Izzy get together at the end of this season. Like, who knows? Listen, I'm not even going to say that that maybe it's not even necessarily Izzy per se, where maybe it's Amelia also. It's one of those things where I've said this before, like when you go back and you watch the episode with Ali, Zato, and Amelia when they go to the fortune teller, and he goes and puts her finger on her lips and he's trying to pretend like they're a couple together. She looks super awkward. Like it's super like, I don't want to be there sort of thing. Like, no, I do not have any feelings for you, bro. Type of mentality. That was one of the other things that I was thinking to myself. I was like, well, maybe that's just because she's just not attracted to dudes. Like maybe that's just not something that she's even caring so much about. So wouldn't that be something if the love in the air that the monster smells is maybe Izzy's crushing over Amelia for all we know? I would freak out. That would be so incredible. I would love it. I would love it. Blossom says, I can vouch for Chance Perez for having Izzy as his favorite. Izzy is one of the coolest tomboys in Ranger history. Amelia said, Emmanuel, what's up, Emmanuel? He says, imagine Ion's crush. I am kind of curious again to see, like, is this guy just like Canalo? Is he going to crush over every person that he winds up seeing? Johnny says, I have a feeling that episode 21 could be the debut of Snag Eye, and episodes 16, 20, and 21 are going to be way more action-packed and could have Disney-level fight-style vibes and maybe original explosions, Bruce Killish style. Yeah, you might be onto something there, man. You might be onto something. I definitely do think, I'm hoping that the Zato and the Ion episodes, when they're on this dangerous planet, I do hope that they have some really great, spectacular fight sequences. Shout out to the second unit director for doing a remarkable job so far. The A Games 10 also says Simon Bennett confirmed that the production numbers have been fixed, meaning episode 14 is the Halloween episode, which we kind of talked about, but is it number 21 in the production code, which makes sense, right? Because we usually feel like the episodes have usually gone from episodes 1 through 20, and then 21 and 22 are usually the specials, if you will. So that makes sense. Thank you very much, the A Games, for bringing that to our attention. Kareem, what's up, Kareem? Good to see you in the house, man. Thank you very much for certainly coming through today. Johnny Morero says Wolfgang and Brine Blast are returning. That's exactly who the other person was, Brine Blast. Wolfgang, yes, I was able to go ahead and pull out, but I could not remember the other character's name, Brine Blast. Thank you very much for bringing that to our attention. So yeah, it does make me wonder, like, is this monster bringing back old foes that the Power Rangers have fought against, and that's how Lord Zed comes back? Or is Lord Zed bringing back some of these characters himself? I don't know, but I will say this, for a Halloween special, it's looking to be rather interesting. Johnny does say, he said, I can see Campbell Cooley voicing Lord Zed. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. I would say I would ask him, but I don't necessarily think he would even give me that information, honestly. Sarav in the house. What's up, Sarav? Ion, the new Gold Ranger. Emphasis on new. Yeah, it should be interesting to see him in action. Ooh, he says the A Games 10 says the monster in front of Lord Zed can bring back bring things back from the dead in the Sentai. So, ooh, could that be it? Could that be it? You might be onto something there, man. So Rob says it looks like Zato and Ion share some bad blood in the show, and I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. If I'm not mistaken, I think Kanalo in Real Soldier, he came from the Water Tribe, and they had, I believe, some sort of animosity towards the Real Soul Tribe, because I think they said that the Real Soul Tribe focused a lot on war and things like that, whereas the Water Tribe was like more peace. And so they kind of separated themselves as a tribe and kind of went their own sort of separate ways. So when we do get Kanalo, the Gold Ranger, and things like that, there is an element of sort of having to gain the trust, or trying to become teammates and gain that trust between those two. So it doesn't kick off like happy-go-lucky immediately sort of thing. There is some things that need to get fleshed out, even in the Real Soldier series itself. So the idea of Zato and Ion maybe having some sort of clashing moments or some bad experiences together from their past that they have to overcome in order to become great teammates. I think you're right. I think you might be onto something there, Sarav. And that's one of the reasons why I look very forward to any Ion and Zato related episodes. I've been wanting to know more about Rafcon. I've been wanting to learn more about the past. If you can give me more flashback sequences of these two in the past, maybe fighting alongside together, maybe in like full regal night mode again, give it to me, man. Give it to me. I think anything Aeon and Zato related in the same episode is going to be fire this season. Sarav also thinks episode 20, they'll be searching for maybe Raptor Zords. That's a potential. That's a possibility for sure. Raptor Zords. Goda says, I wonder if episode 19 will reveal a little bit more about Pop-Pop's history in Area 62. Again, that's another episode that I'm really looking forward to. Episode 19, the idea that we've got Amelia attempting to make over Pop-Pop for a date. I'm hoping more information definitely comes out in regards to Amelia's parents, or like you said, even Area 62, even if it's just a little sentence, a little nugget of information that he drops, definitely goes a long way. Kevin, what's up, Kevin? Appreciate you coming through. He says, man, I'm so thankful you do this every week. Love the show. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming through, Kevin. Thank you very much for the kind words. Listen, I'm not going to lie. This week was a struggle. This week was a struggle to do this show. Not that I don't love it or anything like that, but, when you do this almost every weekend, there are days that are a little bit more lackluster. But I kept thinking to myself, episode descriptions. I got to talk about these, man. I really want to talk with these guys about it. You guys give me all the encouragement that I need to continue to come back week after week. Sometimes there are some weeks when I'm like, you know what, guys, something's come up. Life has just gotten too crazy and I do have to depart. But trust me, I always try and make my best effort, Kevin, to kind of come out here for you guys, because I know you guys do appreciate it. And I love spending my weekends with you guys and talking up some Power Ranger stuff and just having great discussion and throwing out some theories, some fan speculation, going over all the news, making sure we know what's coming and things like that. So I appreciate you, Kevin, for even coming by, man. Thank you. Johnny thinks we're going to get our Snag Eye versus Void Knight episode 21. I'm calling it. That should be interesting. I do want to see Snag Eye for sure. I want to see how he plays into the role of Void Knight, like what they did storyline wise, if they did anything differently from the Real Soldier counterparts. So I am looking forward to seeing Snag Eye maybe pop up in here towards the finale. Goda, he says, episode 21 sounds almost like the opposite of episode 2. I wonder if it's intentional and they're going to revisit it as a bookend. I'm trying to think off the top of my head what the episode 2 description was. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but the Rangers need Dr. Arcana's help to stop Void Knight's evil scheme. Oh, because yeah, Dr. Arcana and them does wind up helping them. You might be, yeah, actually, you might be pretty right. That actually does kind of sound a little bit familiar because that's exactly where we wind up getting Ollie's mom, I thought, with the scanning everything and stuff. I could be wrong, though. Blossom says, Santa in Power Rangers, haven't seen him since MMPR. Yeah, Santa's returning, guys. Santa's returning. Enrique, is the Gold Ranger will have a new Megazord formation? Well, I will say this, his Mosa Rex Zord itself is pretty badass. I believe his Mosa Rex, or I don't even know what they're referring to it here in Dino Fury, but I believe he has his own Zord formation by himself also, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, if you guys have not seen it yet, you're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. I freaking love his Zord. Johnny says 16, 17, 19, 20, and 21 are on top of my list to watch, but can't wait for the return of Lord Zed, and maybe season 2 we'll see Hobby's story with him and Warden. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. Usai says, I was thinking the same, that Izzy would be a LGBTQ character. Yeah, definitely not out of the realm of possibility. I think either Izzy or Amelia is up for debate. But everything that we've seen so far, from what Chance has said, from just the episode description, if anything, it probably would turn out to be Izzy. So I'm hoping they pull the trigger on this. I truly am. Especially the idea of like seeing a Ranger maybe come out and admit it, because it is one of those things where I think, like, even though we did have an LGBTQ Ranger in the 2017 film, it felt, I don't want to say kind of vague, you know, like they kind of glossed over it. They teased it, maybe glossed, but they just never really truly came out. So yeah, maybe that's something that we'll get here with Izzy. I'm looking forward to it, though. I truly do think we're gonna have something special on our hands. And with this being a season of firsts, again, it would not surprise me. It would not surprise me. So I definitely do think that's the route that they're certainly going. Kamen Rider says, off topic, but I'm about to see Shang-Chi soon. Enjoy, man. Enjoy. I watched it last night. I had a freaking blast watching it, man. Top tier Marvel. And I'm not just saying that. Top tier Marvel. DHR2 says, why is it every season feels the same? It's like they never want to escape from MMPR format. Nothing but filler. Well, I'm going to say this, DHR2. Same thing with Simon Bennett said. Not to say, maybe not all these episodes certainly are filler. I mean, you know, Power Rangers has had the same formula for years. So I'm not about to just start blaming like Dino Fury for still sticking to it. They've been doing the same formula of storytelling for years. That's the aspect of some fans that want to see Hasbro, when it comes to the Jonathan Entwistle stuff, asking for a brand new formula and changing things up a little bit in regards to its format of storytelling, if you will. So I definitely do think that we're on par for changes certainly coming when it comes to Power Rangers. But yeah, every season definitely goes through the same format of its levels of storytelling. There always will be filler episodes, but some of these filler episodes aren't like just throwaway episodes, not necessarily meant for anything. Some of these filler episodes really do allow for great character work and character development, understanding their personalities a little bit more, great little Easter egg moments here and there type of thing. So I will just say, don't sleep on it, and just because if maybe some of these episode descriptions don't appeal to you, just like Simon Bennett said, they were deliberately written this way to avoid non-spoilers. So maybe some episodes that you look at as filler, maybe not necessarily be filler. They may have some really great information to push the storyline forward. They're just not going to tell you about it in the episode descriptions. They want you to watch the episode for itself. So let's not judge it. Let's not judge it fully yet in regards to how this goes. So we'll see. We'll see. Simon's the GOAT. Yeah, I think he truly is right now. He truly is right now. Emmanuel says, I hope Simon Bennett doesn't leave the franchise. He's doing a great job. That's funny you bring that up because we literally did a video about that. Like, what's the future of Simon Bennett when it comes to Power Rangers? And one of the things that I talked about was, while we don't necessarily know what the future is going to hold, they have mentioned the idea that there still will be a kids-oriented Power Ranger show. Whether or not they have Simon Bennett in the fold and have shared their plans with him or not, I feel like if Hasbro needs a reason to, hey, why should Simon Bennett return? I think the excitement that Dino Fury has gathered, the really great work that he's done, not only from Beast Morphers, but into Dino Fury, and continuing to push the envelope in regards to allowing some of these same writers that wrote terrible seasons like Mega Force and Ninja Steel coming to now kind of really show what they're capable of in pushing the envelope a little bit in Beast Morphers and even a little bit more in Dino Fury has been really fun to see. And seeing that Simon Bennett not only has made changes to the production, also has other ideas and concepts he would like to include in bringing changes to Power Rangers. He's done a remarkable job. And I hope the video that I did, hopefully somebody at Hasbro certainly paid attention to it in the sense of why this guy certainly should come back. Regardless if you keep using Sentai footage or not, whatever your future plans are, if you need somebody in charge of the kid side of the shows, Simon Bennett, 100%, man. Let's keep this man having a job. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for people out there these days. Marcelino, what's up, Marcelino? He says, I purposely avoided the episode description. Sorry, Marcelino. Hopefully I didn't ruin that for you. I know that the episode descriptions are purposely bland, but I still want to be surprised and not have any expectations. I understand that, and I definitely respect that. Sometimes even having a brief synopsis or plot detail immediately puts your mindset somewhere that you go into with some sort of level of expectations. So I definitely understand what you're saying there, man. He says it's like that Power Ranger fandom is becoming more like Star Wars fandom because of that a-hole. I guess he's referring to the guy Simon Bennett was referring back to. Hopefully not as toxic. There is some toxic fans for sure. Hopefully not as toxic as Star Wars fandom. Hopefully we don't get to that point. But Marcelino, keep us from that point, man. Keep us from there. Escaroma's in the house. What's up, Escaroma? Simon not playing around. No, he's definitely not. Definitely not. Bringing the heat this season so far. Datilla, she says, I feel that given Izzy is given that story arc, I think that it's an arc that should be explored throughout the season. There haven't any hints of her being gay. I definitely understand that. And it seems to be coming out of left field, and it shouldn't be done in one episode, but something that should be covered through an entire season. I would definitely agree with you there to a certain extent, Datilla, for sure. I do wonder, trying to look back at what we've seen so far in the first couple of seasons, I do wonder, in the first half of the season, I'm looking for signs, I don't really see too much outside the fact that, yeah, maybe she is a little bit of tomboyish, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're gay, right? Like there are plenty of females out there that love doing, physical activities and stuff like that. So I would agree with you. There's a part of me that definitely agrees with you. Like there is something special about the idea of sort of a buildup. And if anything, look, I will say this. Maybe episode 13, maybe she doesn't necessarily come out. Maybe it is just hinting at something, right? The idea that she tries to hook them up a little bit, but she, tries to hook them up a little bit, and she just shows her either discomfort or displeasure or just not happy. Like, I just don't feel that way about this guy, Hobby. And maybe he keeps trying. And maybe like we mentioned in the episode description, maybe the hint of the monster smelling love, and we eventually realizing that it's not the love between Izzy and this guy, but maybe Izzy having feelings for somebody else. If you hint at that and you show that without Izzy even necessarily feeling comfortable enough to coming out, but letting us know as a viewer, there's something here, right? There's something happening and brewing here with the Izzy character. Then maybe in the long run, as seasons 1 progresses and then we get to season 2, maybe sometime in season 2 is when she actually comes out and admits it and shares it with the Rangers and things like that. So episode 13 doesn't necessarily have to be Izzy's coming out party. It could just be a tease and a hint at the potential of maybe eventually she certainly will come out. So you might be right. You might be onto something there too, Dattila. Maybe they've taken that into account, and this is just a preview of what's certainly more to come. So yeah, you might be onto something, Dattila, because I do agree with you. I do think something like that's not, you shouldn't just be like, boom, I'm gay. Maybe some hints, some teases, elaborate on it a little bit more. Maybe. We'll see. Just throwing some stuff out there. Captain RGD, Zed is back. How? I don't know. The A Games hinted at the idea that the villain that we see in that photo here, I'll go ahead and bring up the photo again for you guys. Hinting at the idea that maybe the villain in this photo in Real Soldier has the ability to go ahead and bring back characters that are in fact dead or passed away, sort of thing, old foes. You know what I mean? So maybe in turn of bringing the past Dino Fury villains back that we've seen here, maybe he's bringing back Lord Zed also. We'll see, man. We'll see. All hypotheticals right now, but I am kind of curious to see how he comes back. Yusai, he does say, honestly, as long as they had Zato. Oh, as long as they handle Zato better than they did Devin by the end of his season, I'm good. Like, I love Devin, but he definitely felt like a bit of an afterthought that lost urgency after the plot line when his dad was finished. I love him becoming a new commander, but I don't feel like it was earned in his character trajectory. I would agree with you, Yusai. I would agree with you. Not taking anything away from Devin, I truly do, but I do feel like after season 1 or after they went in and saved his dad and things like that, it did feel like Devin kind of took a backseat a little bit. So I definitely get what you're saying there. So I am hoping that Zato is utilized a little bit better. So far, it's so good if you ask me, but I hope so also. Oh, Emmanuel says, so that does beg a question. Did Amelia meet her grandma? Interesting. That's a good observation, Emmanuel, right? The idea that, look, if Pop is getting ready for a date, has, what was grandma like? Is this a hard transition for Pop to want to go on a date after maybe he lost the love of his life or whatever the case may be? Has Amelia met her grandma before? That's a good observation, Emmanuel. I'm curious if that pops up. Rob45, what's up, Rob? I'm glad we finally know when Aeon's going to make his debut. Yep, episode 16. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we do get a tease of something awakening or whatever the case may be in episode 15, but we can definitely bank on episode 16. So Rob says Mosa Razor might be the name of that Zord. That does sound super familiar to me, so Rob, so you might be right in regards to the Gold Ranger Zord. Emmanuel also says, where's our Solon focus episode? Like, allies need their own episodes. Yeah. Again, the Christmas episode definitely seems as though Solon's going to get some shine. And even though I don't necessarily think she's going to get her own episode or focus, I do hope that the idea of Ion and Zato both being there from RAFCON, whatever past that they have or whatever troubles that they're having, I'm hoping that this does bring Solon to the forefront of those conversations and having her play, whether that be sort of mediator between these two or whatever the case may be. I do think Solon will have a presence in those Zato and Ion episodes for sure. Byron, what's up, Byron? I appreciate you coming through today. Thank you very much. Kamen Rider says things are looking great for Power Rangers. I totally agree with you. Byron says, hopefully in season 2 of Dino Fury, the quality doesn't dip. I'm hoping so too, man. I feel like when we came back to season 2 of Beast Morphers, those first couple of episodes were a little bit of a drag. And then it eventually did pick up. So I definitely agree with you. I hope when it comes to season 2 of Dino Fury, we keep that momentum. Byron says, what if Izzy likes another guy? Potentially there too, right? Potentially there too. It could be the fact that maybe that's what the monster's smelling also. Maybe she's got her eyes on somebody like a Zato. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Byron says, I want to know more about the Void Knight and Centaura storyline. I definitely do think that's coming. The fact that I'm hoping that even before episode 21, when it does seem like they're trying to stop Void Knight's evil scheme, I am hoping that we do get more Void Knight moments, at least throughout this season, to help even further elaborate his evil scheme. The A Game Sense says episode 16 description basically leads to an episode 15 appearance, right? Like, come on. Golden Sentai also has electricity powers in a way. So Storm Surge debut, possibly, man, possibly. I really do hope that it leads into something along those lines. So you might be onto something there, A Games, for sure. All right, guys. And I think with that out of the way, we've been talking about the episode descriptions for like a good almost hour and a half here, a good hour and 20 minutes or so. Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. But yeah, if you guys want to further talk about some of these episode descriptions after this episode airs, again, feel free to let your thoughts be known in the comment section box below, guys. What are some of the episodes that are popping out to you that you're really looking forward to this season? Definitely go ahead and throw your episode numbers in the comment section after this video airs, ladies and gentlemen. And with that out of the way, Isaiah does ask, when do you think Dino Fury is coming back to Nickelodeon or Netflix? September 18th, I believe, is what the A Games 10. Correct me if you're still here, A Games. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe you said September 18th, which is 2 weeks from now. I believe Nickelodeon is going to be airing episodes 9. And then the following week, you'll get episodes 10 and 11. And so I'm hoping that that will land on October 9th, being episode number 12, a brand new episode there also. So 2 weeks away from it coming back to Nickelodeon. Izzy, what's up, says checking in late. Hello, everyone. Hello, Izzy. Good to see you here. We were just talking about you. But yeah, definitely go ahead and let me know what you guys think. All right, guys. And with that out of the way, we will go ahead and talk about our next topic for you guys today. And that's the wrap up of Power Month. Now, listen, guys, when it comes to Power Month, probably pretty meh for a lot of you. I feel like you're either disappointed with Power Month, it was either meh, or you found it okay. I guess maybe meh and okay are kind of in the same lines of things. I don't know. I could be wrong. But in an attempt for one last hurrah when it comes to Power Month, Hasbro and Power Rangers made a move that I don't think any of us certainly saw coming, ladies and gentlemen. And shout out to perranger.com for the great image that they wind up putting together, because to celebrate the ending of Power Month, we ended up getting Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the complete first season, now streaming for free over on YouTube. Let the MMPR hate continue, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure there's some of you that are like, MMPR, of all the seasons they could have dropped, they couldn't have dropped anything else. I feel your pain. I feel your pain, guys. I know. So Mighty Morphin, the entire season 1, officially streaming now for free on YouTube. I will say this, though, before we dive into it. Not everybody has Netflix. As much as we probably think everybody has Netflix, not everybody certainly has Netflix. Not everybody wants to pay that type of money on a monthly basis. I get it. Maybe they have too many streaming services already. I think for those that do not have Netflix, or maybe outside of a certain region and they can't watch it on Netflix, I do think the idea of this coming to YouTube very favorable for those fans. So I do think that there are some fans out there that will have an appreciation for this. As somebody like myself, though, that does have a Netflix account and can watch these episodes for, I don't want to say for free there, but to watch them anytime that I want to, this doesn't really do too much for me. What it does do to me, though, is make me try and understand and wrap my head around the idea of why can't they have this type of urgency for other seasons of Power Rangers. Did anybody ask for free episodes of Mighty Morphin on YouTube? I don't know if people did or not. And what makes this interesting to me is the fact that we literally just talked about this last week about Hasbro's reasoning to moving Power Rangers over to YouTube. I do think that it is beneficial to them. I do think that it is a great move on their part to move their Power Ranger stuff over to YouTube. I get the general idea of it. But even in the article, they talked about, sometimes they want to make it like big event moments, dropping brand new episodes here, building it up sort of slowly and things like that. So when you look over at like the kids Power Ranger channel, they've got a ton of Dino centric episodes on there already. Not all of them, like they're slowly trickling out. The official page has a couple of seasons slowly trickling out, but not full seasons. But so when I think about that and I think of how slow they're taking their time in regards to putting these seasons on YouTube, when you do this move, and you all of a sudden, when you already have Mighty Morphin playing fully someplace else, and then you literally take all your time on Power Ranger Month to just throw an avalanche of content of MMPR season 1 on your channel, when it's already playing somewhere else, I'm just thinking to myself, where's the same sort of mentality towards other seasons that we can't get anywhere else? Right? Like I can watch this over on Netflix. Majority of people can watch this on Netflix already. Why do I care that it's going on YouTube right now? Can I find Mystic Force anywhere? No. Why aren't you avalanching me with the whole Mystic Force season? They talk about the idea of buildup. I get it. But Power Month was here. You couldn't spend like each week maybe dropping a new season of Power Rangers somewhere else. Like that would have been incredible to even put more fire behind Power Month and give it more of a with its fans. I mean, you already know that people are, I don't want to say, you already know that there's a part of the fan base that's tired of MMPR. Power Month, for the most part, has been fully MMPR. And while I understand the push of Hasbro when it comes to MMPR, because it is their moneymaker, it brings it all in. We have season 1 already out there and available to the mass majority of the public. There's so many other seasons that deserved this spot and this same sort of treatment. In Space, anybody? Zeo, anybody? Time Force, anybody? Ninja Storm, anybody? Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, the idea that you literally waste your last day on doing this. Again, there are going to be some fans out there that are super thrilled about it. And if you are thrilled about it, that's great. Because again, not everybody has Netflix. So the idea of this coming to YouTube is great for some people. I'm just talking from my sort of point of view. If you're going to do this, I don't want to say I'm almost now expecting the same level of attention to other seasons. I know that's not going to happen, but you've officially told me if we want to put down a whole entire season, guys, we can whenever we want to. So now the fact that you're trickling out these episodes just makes me feel like Hasbro's being an asshole to us. Like, that's just an asshole move now. We know everybody didn't necessarily want more MMPR, but we're going to give you a whole entire season of MMPR on YouTube. Oh, those other seasons, they're coming. They're coming. What? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Don't do this to us. Don't do that. Like, they might have thought this is going to be great for Power Month, but to me, this just sort of shows you, or at least shows me, the idea that if you want to put other you want to put other Power Ranger seasons out, you can. Don't tease me like that. Just put them out there already. Don't tease me like that. So I felt some type of way about it. I felt some type of way about this. Great to have Power Rangers made available for free. That's fantastic. So at least I know that if I ever drop my Netflix account, I know where to find it. But open your ears, Hasbro. I don't know if anybody asked for this compared to the fact of what other people are asking for. Can we get full seasons already of these other 28+ seasons that you got? Don't toy us and pull us around to tease us with these, 1 episode a week, 3 episode a week type of things. It's in your capacity. Let's pull this trigger, guys. Let's pull this trigger. So, guys, I want to know your thoughts. Have you spent any of your time watching MMPR over on YouTube? I probably will. Not gonna lie. But I'm kind of curious to know what you guys think. First off, I will say this, because I don't want to shit completely on Hasbro for this move, because I really do enjoy what Hasbro is continuing to do, and I have no problem with the idea of MMPR, but I do know that there are fans out there that certainly do, and so maybe I'm hoping I'm kind of giving them a little bit of a voice also with the frustration level. But I will say this. I did think that this was a ballsy move in a sense of, at least for Power Month, I thought this was a great move to at least end off the season. But man, if I feel like they probably could have done more of this throughout Power Month. I really do. I really do. Even if it's just the Saban era stuff, Can I get a season 1 of Zeo? Let me get a season 1 of Turbo, 1 each week. Right? 4 weeks. Let me get MMPR season 1. I don't even need season 2 and 3 plastered, but then let me get like a Zeo. Let me get Turbo, and let me get maybe in space or something like that. Like 1 full season every week would have just really skyrocketed Power Month through the rooftops, if you ask me. So yeah, I just underwhelmed. Interesting decision making, and I'm hoping that if we do have a Power Month next season, they really sort of branch out a little bit more. I'm a big fan of MMPR, and I understand that's your moneymaker. But if it's Power Ranger Month, it's not MMPR month, guys. It's Power Rangers month. So let's let everybody get the opportunity to shine. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully next Power Month will certainly be different. But again, awesome attempt to at least round off Power Month on a good note, considering where some of the fan base certainly was up until this particular moment. Epic that they dropped it all, but again, it just goes to show me you can do it for other seasons. If you can do it for this season, you can do it for other seasons as well. So hopefully we'll see some changes as it progresses. Dattila says Adam is the voice of the voiceless. He says, I think Hasbro is trying to pull the old viewers who probably grew up on MMPR because they probably think they can pull them into the fandom without realizing they're angering the fandom, or they do that they're pissing off the fandom and just don't care because they're pulling in that dough from MMPR. Again, definitely. Yeah, what about RPM? Blossom says, I love MMPR, but geez, the other seasons need love too. And I think that's what and I think that's what bothers me. Like, again, I'm a big MMPR fan. You'll never really truly ever see me like get tired of MMPR. But I guess because of the position that I'm in, and I get the opportunity to hear opinions from everybody else in regards to some people being tired of MMPR, or maybe they love MMPR, but they just want to see other seasons get some shine. It just felt like a really deft tone sort of decision making where you already have MMPR available to people over on Netflix. Millions of people can literally watch it on Netflix already if they wanted to. I just think you take that opportunity on YouTube to drop a full season of something else that nobody else has that opportunity to see right now. You know what I mean? And I just spread the love, man. Spread the love. But I will say, MMPR on YouTube will get views, guys. It will get views. Hasbro will be raking in the funds, monetizing those particular videos for sure. Like if Jungle Fury and Dino Thunder, if they're getting 100,000, a couple of views, can you imagine the views that MMPR is getting on YouTube? Strictly a financial move, if you ask me. I don't even hands than it was for the pockets of Hasbro because they know they're going to benefit even more from it on YouTube. But man, missed opportunity. Just a missed opportunity for me. The voice of the voiceless. I love that, Dattila. Thank you. Yeah, as Karoma says, Power Rangers in space, maybe. You know, Emmanuel, Ninja Storm would be great. Sarav, RPM was the best season in NPR. Can we drop that as a full season? Like, yeah, missed opportunity, man. Missed opportunity. All right, guys. And with that out of the way, we will go ahead and get into our next topic for you guys. Oh, you know what? And let me bring this up because I did pull this. This was from the Power Rangers official Twitter page saying we're ending Power Month with a big one. After 10,000 years, they're free. Season 1 of MMPR is now streaming on YouTube. From today, we'll be dropping Vault episodes in order of release. So subscribe and stay tuned. So yeah, that's where that official announcement eventually came from. All right, guys. And with that out of the way, we will transition over into one more Power Ranger topic, but we will be getting into more Boom Studios conversation. What the hell is that noise? Did you guys hear that? I wonder if the girlfriend's working with something in the living room. We'll see. Power Rangers issue number 11 has dropped the preview. Guys, I'm slacking on my Boom Studios comics. I'm slacking so bad. I don't know what happened. I hit like issues 8 and I just kind of like energy level just turned way down. Like I need to catch up. I truly need to catch up because some big things are happening. They're clearly fighting the Imperials. We got the emissaries involved once again. Shit's picking up. Shit is certainly picking up. So I need to get on board with this. I truly do. I mean, we had Mighty Morphin issue number 10. A bunch of big announcements and big reveals came out of it. I still don't know everything that was said or happened in Mighty Morphin issue number 10. With the whole Eltarian stuff like that. I think Ryan Parrott even posted like a title of the Eltarian War and stuff. I don't even know when that's even supposed to be happening or if it's happening as of right now. I got to get back on my comic book run. I really do. Comic books are just so expensive, but we do wind up having ourselves here a preview of the upcoming issue number 11. So let me go ahead and pull this up for you guys, because this comes to us from rangercommand.com. Rangercommand.com, guys. First look at Power Rangers issue number 11. Discover the fate of the Omega Rangers and Yellow Emissary before the Altarian War in September of 2021. So this is what it's building up to here. It's this September. So, man, I got to catch up. I got to catch up if we're going to be having ourselves a big sort of event moment here, because I do not want to miss this. But let me go ahead and post up. This was a couple of the covers that we're going to be getting. This is main cover art. So it looks like they have themselves a new cover artist there, which is pretty interesting to me. This does look like Daniel Danaculo's artwork as well for a variant cover. And there's a couple of other variant covers as well. But here's a couple of the upcoming pages that they have in store for us. Is that Trini? It looks like Trini's morphing into a Omega Earth. What else we got here? Okay, it looks like our Omega Rangers in general morphing as of right now. That's pretty cool just from the photos alone. Oh, what's that? It's like something's talking to them and like that cloak on whatever planet that they're being sent down from. That's pretty fascinating. What's this one? First off, I continue to love their weapons for the Omega Rangers. Trini's gigantic camera is just incredible. Oh, I love this shot here of Omega Red talking to this like cloth that looks like it's turned itself into almost like a figure, using its robes and its rags to like, looks like it's like a cloak, but yet it's capturing Omega Red there too. That's fascinating. I'm kind of curious as to who they're talking to, but it does say, will the Omega Rangers be able to enlist the last emissary to help defeat the Imperials? Do Omega Rangers attempt to question the enigmatic Yellow Emissary, who may know the secret of the Imperials' undoing? But even if they can convince the Yellow Emissary to help, it may be too late if Draken isn't on the same page. The fate of the Omega Rangers and the Yellow Emissary hang in the balance as they all fight for their lives. Very interesting stuff, man. I am kind of curious here. You know, I remember the Blue Emissary being killed. I cannot remember what happened to Red and Yellow. Considering the fact that the Blue Emissary was a really big proponent in bringing the Omega Rangers together, I kind of was under the impression that something happened to Red and Yellow Emissaries in the comics, maybe at a previous time. So the fact that now that the Yellow Emissary is back, I'm thinking to myself, did somebody bring that emissary back? Were they in hiding this whole time? Was Blue just taking an initiative that he probably shouldn't have, that maybe the other emissaries didn't feel he should in regards to forming the Omega Rangers? I'm kind of curious to, I do have some more catching up to do. So maybe they explain it a little bit further in the comics that I've yet to miss. But yeah, I definitely want to go ahead and check out what's going on here. So let me see. When does this issue drop? Power Rangers issue 11 will be available on September 15th. So September 15th. So not this upcoming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday will be Power Rangers issue number 11. So definitely go ahead and check that out whenever you guys can. If you've been keeping up with the Power Ranger comics, What have you thought of them so far? Try not to go into too much detail because I don't want to be completely spoiled because I do want to catch up a little bit on my own. But I do want to know your guys' thoughts in regards to where Boom Studios is at with their current Power Ranger run. Have you been enjoying it so far? Definitely go ahead and let me know your guys' thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below. Byron says, is there anything from the comics you want to see in the actual show? Ranger Slayer or Lord Draken would be great. I would love either of those. Izzy says, I've been behind on Boom Studios comics. I still haven't finished Shattered Grid. Yeah, man, you got some catching up to do for sure. I thought I was slacking. Marcelino says, at least slacking off on comics is easier than slacking off on novels. I still haven't finished the first of 4 book series. It's the Enchanted Forest Chronicles, if you were wondering. Very cool, man. I haven't heard of those before, but maybe I'll check it out. But I do know your pain, man, because I'm currently... I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I love reading Star Wars novels, and I've been trying to keep up with their High Republic novels that they currently have. The first 3 books, no problem, man. I took care of them and everything, but they just came out with like a second batch of books, and I haven't even started. There's like 3 of them out, 2 novels, 1 audio book. I'm in the process of at least like the first 2 chapters of the first book, but I do have some catching up to do. So the idea of catching up when it comes to novels, it's like so much reading. So I get it. I definitely get it. So Rob says, I'd love to see the Omega and Solar Rangers on screen. Great choices too. I would love to see the Omega Rangers brought to television as well. Like, honestly, I think I remember when we were, I'm trying to recall if there were some theories out there when we knew for Beast Morphers that Austin St. John was returning. I do remember some people asking me like, Adam, do you think we'll see the Omega Ranger costume? Great opportunity to have introduced the Omega Rangers at that particular point of the show, you know, but yeah, they didn't pull the trigger. They just let Austin have his MMPR red moment, which is great to see him back in costume and in his morphing sequence, or he didn't even get a morphing sequence, but just at the forefront of the Rangers once again. But yeah, I would love to see the Omega Rangers in some capacity, or even the Solar Rangers, honestly. Byron says Heckle should have been the Talon Ranger in the show. Totally agree with you. I'm happy he got the opportunity to be a Ranger in the comic books. Yeah, they did at least fix that a little bit by putting him in the comic books. But yeah, it should have been live action. I don't see why. I don't know why they didn't pull the trigger on that, honestly. All right, guys. And then last but not least, we actually have 2 last topics for you guys today that we're going to bring up. We will be transitioning a little bit more, though, into tokusatsu news for you tokusatsu fans. So we'll go through these relatively quickly. But when it comes to Kamen Rider Saber, that series has officially wrapped, ladies and gentlemen. There was also a Kamen Rider Saber and Revice crossover episode this past week, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think Stuart, now that I think about it, I don't think Stuart dropped his episode review. I'm gonna have to get on his ass about that. Like, bro, I know you got a full-time job, but so do I. You gotta make this stuff happen, man. So I'm hoping that he drops that sometime this weekend for you guys, along with, because I do believe he's gonna be doing Revice reviews for you guys also beginning this week. It is this week. Am I right? I haven't been keeping track. I've been leaving that up to Stuart, honestly. But Kamen Rider Saber, while it certainly has completed, it doesn't mean that's the last that we're going to see of the show, because Kamen Rider Saber has a V Cinema movie coming our way, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. They just dropped this poster, which looks fantastic. Again, the opportunity to see our Kamen Riders. Looks like they're flying on their creatures that they have. I love the fact of seeing Saber on his dragon. But we do have ourselves a Kamen Rider Saber movie that's headed our way. This actually comes to us from tokunation.com. Let's go ahead and dive into this and see exactly what they're talking about here. So tokunation.com, it says, Kamen Rider Saber, the Trio of Deep Sin V Cinema project has been announced. It says, titled The Trio of Deep Sin, this new adventure is set 8 years after the ending of the series. So we get a time jump here. Forget 10 years after Super Sentai stuff. No, this is 8 years after Kamen Rider Saber, and features the swordsman reuniting to take on a revived threat. This new project will also feature new wonder books, especially for Kamen Rider Espada. The Thunder Swordsman will gain the powers of Arabian Night and Amazing Siren. That's pretty cool. It says the trio of Deep Sin V Cinema is currently scheduled for release in May. Damn, May 2022, guys. So we've got a ways to go. We've got a ways to go before this actually happens, which it kind of makes sense to me, though. I'm actually kind of happy for this. One, you probably really want to give Revice your shine. I'm sure if you're a Toei, you want to make sure that Revice is put to the forefront. But I also think the fact alone that this takes place 8 years after, let this movie definitely breathe some time after the finale of Saber, if that's going to be the case, right? Like, it would be weird if this movie was dropped like next month, and it's like an 8-year jump, if you will. I feel like the 8-year jump is a little bit easier to swallow when you separate the movie itself from when the finale was. So the fact that we're going to be getting this movie May 2022, who knows when it's going to be made available for the general public in regards to English subtitles. But once this movie drops, trust me when I say we will bring the review for you guys. So definitely stay tuned for that, even though that is going to be like sometime next year. But yeah, we do have ourselves a brand new movie that's coming. Kamen Rider Saber, the Trio of Deep Sin. And let me go ahead and pull up that poster so you guys can go ahead and check it out once again. I do wish it was a little bit lighter or a little bit brighter. It does look a little bit dark to me, but I do love it. It looks pretty badass, if you ask me. But yeah, definitely go ahead and let me know what you guys think of this so far. The idea of new Wonder Books Blossom, this might be right up your alley. I know you've collected some Wonder Books in your time. Also, the fact of Arabian Nights and Amazing Siren, I think those are some really great titles, and I'd be interested to see like what those power sets actually give the Thunder Swordsman in here also. So yeah, facing off against a revived threat 8 years after Kamen Rider Saber. But I want to know your guys' thoughts for sure. Let's give Blossom some highlights here. She says, Saber, I'm gonna miss that hottie. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. I saw that crossover. Kamen Rider Revice is creepy. So can't wait to see the movie for Saber. That movie is gonna rock. Toma is just so hot. But you can't wait that long though. Yeah, I don't blame you. I was not expecting that release date. When I read it myself, like it even surprised me. But yeah, at least something to look forward to, right? Like if you thought your adventures with Toma and Kamen Rider Saber were done, nah, you're definitely going to get more of those characters. So, well, that's good. I'm glad you guys are certainly at least appreciating the character. I do know that when it came to Saber, when it first started off, there weren't really too many, I don't want to say too many fans of it, but I felt like it was definitely getting a lot of pushback. But it sounds like it was a season that actually either made some course corrections or improved as the season wind up, getting deeper into the season. And it seems as though we might have had some big fans of the show. So if you were fans of the show or even these characters, again, guys, it will not be the last time that you see them. So you will get another opportunity. It'll be in May. But they'll be here for you guys. So let me know your levels of excitement for this 8 years after sort of film for Kamen Rider Saber in the live chat or the comment section box below, ladies and gentlemen. And then last but not least, we've got one more topic that we're going to be breaking down before we get into your guys' live viewer questions today. And this one comes to us from tokusatsunetwork.com. Again, tokusatsunetwork.com. You know, we talked about this for you Zenkaiger fans. One of the things that didn't even really occur to me when we wind up having an episode recently with Gege, where we had a returning Caesar, just got beat up on the battlefield, right? Makes his way back to the Toji Tendo, barely alive. Rude's looking over his body, trying to figure out, what am I going to do with Stacy here? Gege is in fact the one that wind up dropping Caesar back into the Toji Tendo, and Gege clearly has bigger plans for Stacy. But he didn't say anything in the episode whatsoever, right? And some people brought it to my attention that the voice actor that plays Gege was on hiatus or something like that. And so I was just expecting a one-off, you know what I'm saying? Gege's voice actor apparently returning. That's not the case, guys. The Gege voice actor himself has departed. And what's crazy to me is I didn't even know this, guys, but the Gege voice actor is the same voice actor that did the Ultraman Netflix CGI series. We literally just talked about this last week of or 2 weeks ago of the Ultraman voice actor for the Netflix series departing. And I was thinking to myself, oh man, I guess that means we're not going to have a season 2 of that Netflix series anytime soon, right? But they clearly quickly replaced him. And last week we talked to you guys about the idea that, yep, Ultraman season 2, it's happening. It's definitely happening on Netflix next year. So the fact that that voice actor left clearly had much bigger ramifications on tokusatsu than I even fathomed, because not only did he depart the idea of doing the role of Ultraman, but he was also the voice actor for Gege in here, which would explain also the idea why we didn't get him in the episode and why we probably have ourselves a brand new actor. And this is the article here from Tokusatsu Network. Toei replaces Tatsushi. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to butcher these names. Tatsuhisa, there we go, Suzuki in the Zenkaiger role. So let's go ahead and dive into this, guys, and see if they give us any other details about what truly happened here. Here we go. Toei has confirmed that Suzuki's replacement via the credits of the show's most recent episode. The role of Gege, most commonly seen alongside the show's main antagonist, will now be played by Masaya Fukanishi, replacing Tatsuhisa Suzuki in the role. Suzuki portrayed the character in the show's first half before stepping down to mental health reasons earlier this month. The most recent episodes of Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger featured the character appearing with outspoken dialogue. Suzuki was previously cast as Taro in the upcoming second season of Netflix's Ultraman anime series based on the manga, before excusing himself from that role also. So they just went ahead and confirmed that as well. So yeah, new voice actor for Gege and Masaya Fukanishi. I'll be interested to see if I can tell the difference between him and Suzuki, or if he's just going to try and aim for whatever tone that Suzuki tried to bring to the character in Gege. I'm a fan of Gege. I do like his role. He seems to be the only character in the Toji Tendo that Bokuwas is really willing to listen to, allow to do whatever he certainly wants to, and be fond of it. Like the idea of Gege failing a mission probably doesn't even make Bokuwa sweat. If anything, he would probably cheer on Gege for at least even giving it a try, right? Where if everybody else, he would probably just rip a new asshole, just yelling at him and stuff. So I do love Gege's spot in here, because Gege feels like he probably has so much freedom to do whatever he wants to, that he is going to be a very integral part in this season, and really kind of maybe putting his hands in everybody else's project. Like, I do feel like Gege's pulling more strings behind the scenes than even Bokuwas himself even knows. But I kind of dig that. It's almost like that intrusive, annoying ass bird that wants to get in everybody else's business, thinks that he can probably do their job better than they certainly can, sort of thing. So I'm intrigued to see how much of a role Gege plays in the remainder of this season. But it did take me for a loop here, that one, when we didn't have that episode of Gege speaking, that people were telling me, oh, the actor's taking a hiatus or whatever the case may be, or he was gone. I didn't know that equaled the idea of, no, this guy literally is departing. Like him and also him dropping his other gig in Ultraman. I had no idea that these two voice actors were actually connected. So I learned something new for myself here, guys. But I thought that was rather interesting to kind of explore. So yeah, now we have some reasoning as to why Gege certainly didn't have a voice for an episode or two. But listen, I'm never going to fault somebody at all for wanting to leave a project because of mental health. I believe some of the other articles we've talked about was the idea that even his wife was dealing with the same thing, or his wife had a ton of stuff on her plate that he wanted to really kind of help her out with also. So it's probably a combination of a lot of things, but I'm never going to fault anybody when it comes to mental health for not doing something. You know what I mean? I think mental health these days, people want to look at it as a weakness. I think the idea of people dropping out of things because of mental health, there's like this really big sort of negative stigma, yet everybody has that opportunity to play couch quarterback and wants to judge other people on how hard their job is or how hard their life is, right? Like I can't stand people that want to shit on like some of these athletes or some of these actors that want to depart or stop doing something because of mental health, like they could do any better. Like there's a reason why you're sitting on your ass in front of a computer not doing what these people do, yet you want to bash them for mental weakness. Like, come on, guys, mental health is a real thing. Trust me when I say that. Like, I almost feel like it should be mandatory that once you come out of a mother's womb, you immediately get a therapist attached to you to help you grow through life. Because there are some things that people just don't know how to handle themselves, have difficulty sort of overcoming, and to be able to have somebody in your life that you can speak with, unafraid to, and not have them judge you and give you advice on how to navigate this crazy ass life that we live in. Super important. So I do hope that Suzuki, whatever he's dealing with in his life as of right now, I hope he takes time for himself, takes a step back, takes a breather. I mean, shit, sometimes there are times when I want to take a mental health break from doing videos sometimes, you know what I mean? Just take a breather for myself, get my thoughts back together. It's super important to be able to do that, and to recognize it is even that much more powerful. So I love the fact that as much, and look, it's one of those things too, right? Like, you've got a great opportunity in front of you to voice act and to be a part of some really great projects, but to be mindful enough to know that you're not all there where you personally want to be to live your fullest life. To be able to make those type of sacrifices, I think is something absolutely incredible. And I think that is what people should be praising some of these sports athletes, actors, whatever the case may be, for, instead of harking on them and giving some shit and giving them a hard time, because life is tough, man. Life is tough. And if anybody tells you differently, they're lying to you, or they truly don't understand half the stuff that you're dealing with. So props to Suzuki for recognizing that he certainly needed some mental health to himself. And I certainly hope he figures things out and hopefully comes back and lands some fantastic roles, certainly going forward, guys. But I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts in regards to this in the comment section box below. Did you guys know that he was the same person that not only did Gege, but also did Ultraman? And now it's just funny how it all comes together after like 2 or 3 weeks of us talking about the Ultraman stuff and seeing how it's also impacting Zenkaiger as well. So I'm glad that they at least found themselves a new voice actor. And we should definitely see how this definitely goes. But definitely let me know your thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, that will do it for all of our topics here today, guys. So thank you very much for everybody's participation. Some great discussion topics, some great discussion in the comment section. Also, you guys definitely came through today. So I really do appreciate it. And of course, remember, especially if you're here in the live chat too, if you still haven't hit that like button, do us a big favor. Hit that like button. It definitely does go a long way. All right, let's go ahead and transition now over as we wrap up the show to our live viewer questions. I actually have no idea how many questions we have, but we'll see. We'll see. Let me change this over. By the way, any fantasy football heads out there? Football starts this fantasy football starts this Thursday. I'm so pumped. I had my draft last week. That was interesting to say the least. I'm thrilled. I'm a part of 2 fantasy leagues this year. I have my own league that I've been doing for like 10 plus years, and I have a work league that I'm a part of. The work league, love my roster. My league, hit or miss. I'm a little bit worried about it. But we'll see. It's like I took such a beating. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, was I part of another one? Okay, I didn't know I was part of another fantasy football league too. I just got an email. Oops. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into some of these questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got like 9 people with some questions. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the show, guys, as we go through some of your questions. Jessica Friedman. Hey, Adam, which superhero team would you like to see have a comic book crossover with Power Rangers? I think I've mentioned this before, but the Teen Titans. I would like to see the Teen Titans. One in just age range. I think that would be perfect to kind of see just the struggles that both sets of teens have to go through. Not teams as in TEAMS, but TEENS, teens. I would love to see like the Teen Titans and Power Rangers dealing with not only with teen issues, but really the idea of being teenage superheroes, I think would be fascinating to kind of explore. So I don't believe they've done that one before. So I would love to see that. Marcelino says, aside from this question, I ran out of questions to ask you, but I have a fun idea. I was thinking of sharing my thoughts on how I would fix certain things in Power Rangers that I didn't like. This would only be used for fun. It would not be an attack on the writers or fans who think differently. Is that okay or not? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, Marcelino. If you have some ideas, definitely go ahead and shoot them our way. Kimchi, son. What's up, Kimchi? Appreciate you coming through. Hi, Adam. I was watching one of your old streams, and I think you may not know this, so I'm informing you that Tubi has Super Sentai shows from Jetman to Hurricaneger. So if you're going to watch any of them someday, go to Tubi. Hope you have a good weekend. Oh, thank you very much, Kimchi, for that. I don't have Tubi, but I'm pretty sure I could probably download it. Is it free? Like, is it a free app or something? Like I have Pluto TV, that's free. So I do get like Tokusatsu on there. They usually tend to play a ton of like Kamen Rider, Ultraman, anything Tokusatsu related, Super Sentai from time to time. But that's cool. I mean, I do have a place where I already get sort of my past Super Sentai videos and shows. That's usually how I do a lot of my reactions for older seasons and stuff. But I'll definitely keep it in mind, Kimchi, because there's plenty of Super Sentai seasons I have not watched yet that I still want to go ahead and watch. So I'll definitely keep Tubi in mind for sure. And also, guys, if I'm not mistaken, this week, Adam, how can I have forgotten? I should have put this up. Hold on one moment, because I do need to update you guys. I should have did this at the top of the show when we had more people watching. But for those of you who are not familiar, we have our Deca Ranger reactions that are going to be starting this week for you guys. This upcoming Tuesday, every Tuesday and every Thursday, we will be dropping one reaction video for Deca Ranger. Right now, I believe Patreon might be up to episode 8 right now. I might do a couple of more videos for the Patreon before the 7th to kind of get them even further ahead. But episode 1 and episode 2 will be starting September 7th, which is this Tuesday, and then again on Thursday. So if you guys are looking for new, fresh content here at APlus Morphinominal, we do have Deca Ranger reaction videos certainly coming your way. So definitely go ahead and join us then whenever you guys get the opportunity to do so. Let's see here. Next question comes from Dino AJ. Man, this is a long ass email, bro. It says when Ninja was first announced to be adapted into Ninja Steel, what did you think it would be about? I don't necessarily know if I had an idea of what the premise would be. And that's one of the aspects of Power Rangers and having it adapted from Super Sentai that I love, is just trying to see how they would take storyline elements from its Super Sentai counterpart and, you know, sort of make it their own, if you will. So I don't know. I didn't know or have an idea of what it was going to be about, but I just remember thinking to myself, while I wasn't the biggest fan of Ninja, it wasn't a season and I thoroughly enjoyed. It had its moments and its characters and stuff like that. Not to completely crap on it, but it just wasn't my favorite. You know what I mean? Going into Ninja Steel, I just thought to myself, there's no way that this season's going to be worse than in Ninja. Like I just knew Ninja Steel was going to be a home run. Like there's no way. Like I just know I'm going to love the Power Ranger version so much more than in Ninja. And boy, was I mistaken. Boy, was I mistaken. Like the Ninja Steel gave me an appreciation for Ninja I did not have before. I will tell you that much right now. So yeah, while I didn't know what Ninja Steel was going to turn out to be, I knew for a certainty it was going to be better than Ninja. And I was wrong. I was wrong big time. Personally, I was excited for Ninja Steel, you say. I thought it was going to be very cool continuation or sequel to Ninja Storm. That would have been cool. But in reality, it was a big what the F? I brought back the Ninja Storm. Oh, I would have loved for the 25th anniversary if they would have brought back the Ninja Storm Rangers, especially Pua, since he was still alive when Ninja Steel was on air. We know Ninja had a team up with the Red Hurricaneger and Red Kaku Ranger. That's true. So it would have been incredible to have Shane and Oriku back, or even with both full teams, Ninja Storm and the Alien Rangers. Yeah, they a lot of potential. A lot of potential, unfortunately, just untapped and never taken advantage of. Do you agree that even though we can't have huge team ups, crossovers in Dino Fury because of COVID, having a New Zealand actor return for cameo is even better to connect seasons? I know some people did not like or buy the whole Morphine Masters and Nexus Prism in episode 8 with Mick linking Dino Fury or Dino Thunder and Dino Charge. Yeah, one of the things that we've talked about here, you know, Simon Bennett has come out and said, look, you know, maybe you shouldn't expect any cameos or not cameos, but you shouldn't expect any big team ups or crossover events this year because of COVID, right? The idea of having to fly somebody in at the time they were doing 14-day, two-week quarantine just to film for like a day or two and then have them go back. Simon just kind of made the impression that it just didn't make sense. Now, not to say that maybe there's a big crossover surprise. I highly doubt it. I'm not keeping my fingers crossed, but there's always a possibility. You know what I mean? But one of the things that I've always talked about and I've said before, and this goes to your question, AJ, is that I think the idea that they're paying attention to, well, if we can't do crossovers, what's the next biggest thing that we can do? And if it comes down to dropping Easter eggs to past Power Rangers seasons, if you've got New Zealand actors like a Commander Shaw, the actress that plays her from New Zealand, you know, bringing her back for an upcoming episode of Dino Fury, whether that's season 1 or season 2, the fact of at least knowing that you've got great talent. So again, Mick, right, originally from New Zealand, that makes it accessible to have sort of these cameos and stuff. I truly do think, AJ, that it does go a long way. And it definitely brings back that hint of nostalgia. It's like a mini crossover, right? Just the idea of them popping up and connecting the overarching lore of Power Rangers to a previous Power Rangers season. I think fans truly dig that. And again, while I don't necessarily think anything truly tops a great crossover event, you know what I mean? I think the second best thing that you can do is to be mindful of your New Zealand actors. And if you can make connections to past seasons and make them make sense, definitely go ahead and do it. And I definitely do think that Simon Bennett has been paying attention to that. So yeah, I do think that the cameos go just as much of a far along way of pleasing the fans as it does crossovers. What did you think of the episode descriptions for the rest of season 1? Do you think we should see the episodes ourselves before we judge them? Which of the episode listens do you think we get some big surprises and reveal maybe more of Void Knight's backstory? So yeah, based off of the majority of episodes that we've gotten so far, from 13 to 22, I enjoy a majority. I enjoy the sound of a majority of them. So 13 has my interest. 14 has my interest. 16 clearly has my interest. Then we've got 19, 20, and 21. So I guess that's about almost 6 out of 6, I guess. So yeah, I'm definitely here for it. But yeah, very much to what Simon Bennett said, the idea of these are just episode descriptions, right? These descriptions do not make or break the episode themselves. There's probably things in these episodes that are not even hinted at in the episode description itself. So while there are some descriptions that we read that may sound a little bit more bland or boring compared to other ones, there's nothing to say that those episodes that sound boring will be boring. You know what I mean? So I do think that there is a part of us that, while I'm sure the descriptions maybe give us expectations of what we're hoping to kind of see, I do think just as a fan base and just as a viewer, once we get to those episodes, those expectations need to go out of the window and just watch the episode certainly for what it is. So I'll never assume that just because an episode description doesn't pop to me, that it means it's going to be a shit episode. I would never assume that. If anything, I'll let the episode itself speak for itself, and then critique it after what I've watched. But I'm just really highlighting the ones that really jump out to me that I'm super excited for. But even the ones that don't, I'm certainly going to continue to give them a fair shot, as I think everybody certainly should. And I think that's the message that Simon Bennett was trying to push to us. Do I think that we'll have some big surprises and reveals? Absolutely. Even though Void Knight's name really is only mentioned in like the finale, if I'm not mistaken, out of all these previews, I'm sure we're going to get more Void Knight. I'm sure we're going to get more Mucus. I'm sure we're going to see his plan coming even further to fruition. That power grid, that charge will just keep rising, I'm sure, until we get to see his evil scheme kind of come into play here. Definitely going to get more Dr. Akana also. I'm hoping we get ourselves maybe a surprise cameo here popping up from time to time. Pop's going to be back, right? And even, again, it is one of those things where even though the description itself mentions Amelia's just giving Pop a makeover for a date, we have no idea what those conversations are going to hold, right? So there could be a ton of intel and pushing forward of the storyline in something like a Pop makeover episode. You know what I mean? So I do think that there's plenty to sink our teeth into this season, and I appreciate them being mindful enough to write the episode descriptions out the way that they do, because I'm not the biggest fan of spoilers myself. I'm really not. So I will say this again. After this episode this week, if you guys start seeing a no spoilers, please, for Dino Fury, because the international markets will be airing new episodes, please do not spoil those episodes for me. I probably will be watching very closely on Twitter. I'm sure people are going to be posting a bunch of pictures and their own, descriptions of the episodes and thoughts. And I'm just going to be scrolling past all that, because I really want to avoid it and actually watch it for myself. So it should be interesting to see how this goes. I felt like for the most part we handled it pretty well when it came to Beast Morphers. I was spoiled by maybe like two or three things very early on, but I still enjoyed the season for the most part. And I think that's going to happen here too. Johnny Marrero's got a couple questions for us. Hey, Adam, do you think we should watch the new Dino Fury episodes on Nick at 8 like regular, or just watch them when they premiere on Pop UK and then watch them online? Because I say that because I'm a loyal Power Ranger fan and I want to, but I'm getting tired of these hiatuses, and these pictures of future episodes are already being surfaced online, and I don't know what you think. Listen, it's whatever works for you, Johnny. You know, I don't necessarily think like you're not a true Power Ranger fan if you don't if you don't wait for it to premiere on Nickelodeon. You know what I mean? I don't subscribe to that mindset. If you're a Power Ranger fan, maybe the urges of wanting Dino Fury episodes is the pull is too great. You know what I mean? And you want to go ahead and jump on some of these episodes early. Doesn't mean you can't watch it on Pop TV. And then when it airs once again as on Nickelodeon, maybe if anything, the second time around, you'll see things that you might have missed the first time. You know what I mean? So I think it's all personal preference. I'm certainly not going to judge you for it. You know what I'm saying? You enjoy the episodes as they come. And whatever is pulling you either way, definitely go ahead and do it. Like if you just can't handle it anymore, Johnny, do yourselves a favor, man, and watch the episode. You know what I'm saying? Like enjoy your fandom. Don't feel like you gotta not watch it because then you don't think you're gonna be a true Power Ranger fan if you don't wait till it premieres. Whatever works for you, man. Whatever works for you. After Dino Fury, will we still get another kid-oriented Power Ranger show? Only would be full-on American Rangers without Sentai footage. Well, under the understanding that I have is that Brian Goldner has come out in the past, and he has mentioned that Jonathan Entwistle not only will be making a non-adult show, but they're also going to be focusing on the movie. There's also concepts of doing an animated series, which we will be getting. And they did say this is even taking place sort of outside of the kid-friendly television series that we have also. So I am very much under the impression that we still will be getting kid-friendly Power Ranger shows as well. Now, whether or not that's going to be like how they're going to manage that I don't know. Right? Like, I feel like there's like two scenarios here. Either Hasbro decides that, yes, we're going to continue along with the kid-oriented show, but just do all original footage, no Sentai footage. You can certainly still go that route if they certainly wanted to, or they can stick to the same formula that they have now, right? Like the option of Hasbro and Toei still working closely together. Again, everything has just been rumored. I'm clearly leaning towards the idea of them really not using that footage anymore, maybe splitting on their own to do all original content, Ranger costumes, et cetera, et cetera. But again, it could be the idea Hasbro and Toei still working together, have some sort of working relationship, but maybe just no longer use Sentai footage anymore, so that it does allow Hasbro to kind of create their own stuff. There's definitely a possibility for it, but I do think whatever they create, a kid-oriented show. So I am on the record of saying I do believe we are still getting ourselves a kid-oriented show, whether that's original footage and original suits or Super Sentai footage in a new adaptation that I don't know about. But it is happening. And I believe just in the overarching story of what Jonathan Entwistle is trying to create in this reimagined and rebooted universe, I do believe that there will be connective tissues as well, from the movie to the adult show to the animated show to the kid show. I do believe that there's going to be connective tissues between all of that. So to answer your question, yes, I do believe that we are still going to be getting ourselves a kid-oriented show. What that's going to look like, though, time will tell. I still hope for season 2 of Dino Fury to be on Netflix next year. What do you think, Adam? Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be on Netflix next year. That was the announcement from, I believe, not only the Power Ranger Facebook and Twitter page did an official announcement for that, but then the Chance Perez stuff also mentioning that it was going to be moving over to Netflix. We know that the Nickelodeon contract is expiring this year in 2021, so they're trying to get out all the season 1 stuff, but I am fully expecting all of season 2 to be on Netflix for Dino Fury. Scape Land, what's up, Scape Land? This is kind of early to ask, but you just reached 900 subs. Do you have plans for 1,000 subs, like a new series or something like that? I just got to get to 1,000 subs first. Almost there. I do feel like there's been an uptick in subscriber count lately. I don't know where that's coming from. Not complaining. Thank you guys. I love having more people a part of the family. We love having you here. We definitely value everybody's opinion. I feel like for the most part, I think we've built a very sort of respected platform where people feel kind of safe in their community here. Like, I don't really see people in the comment section like yelling at each other or like disagreeing so much. I mean, granted, everybody has their own opinion on things, but I feel like for the most part, we really do respect and value each other's opinions. And that's really one of the things that I've always wanted to establish for APlus Morphinominal. And so I feel like we're achieving that. So the more people that we can bring in to grow this family and have a really great place, I feel like, for fandom to express themselves without feeling like they're going to get beat over the head about their opinions and stuff. Even though we may not necessarily agree with it, well, at least we'll hear you out and let you know where we land on it and things like that. So that's one thing I've always wanted to establish with this. And just a thorough breakdowns. There are some channels that succeed really well with like under 7-minute videos that give you quick hits, quick thoughts, and things like that. I've tried to operate like that sometimes. Sometimes we'll get videos under 10 minutes or something like that, but I like to dive deep into my characters. I like to dive deep into the technical aspects of how an episode is filmed, or thought processes and character breakdowns and, fight choreography. I love looking at all those stuff. Cinematography. I like getting really thorough breakdowns. And so maybe that's the appeal to this channel for some people. I don't know. But I'm hoping I can get to 1,000 subscribers relatively soon. Once we get there, I'm sure maybe we'll have a little bit of a 1,000 sub party or something like that. Maybe we'll do ourselves like a live stream. How much like new series and new content, we'll see. I feel like once we complete something, we usually fill it with something else. But remember, I also do have like 2 other channels, or this channel and another channel that I host and do videos for. So I do anywhere between like 8 to 9 videos a week, sometimes more than that. So sometimes my calendar and schedule is super full because this isn't even my full-time job. Like, I still work Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Got a girlfriend that I certainly have to attend to for sure. So it's a balancing act, to say the least. So how much new content we can provide, we try and balance it as much as we can. But like we said, we've got the Decker Ranger stuff certainly coming. I've been saying for the longest time, I really want to do these damn Dino Thunder watch-alongs. It's just really all about timing and trying to find that niche spot where I can do that along with everything else. You know what I mean? So yeah, more content certainly is headed your way. Other plans certainly in the works. It's just about pulling that trigger and making it happen. Doomsday, which PR season do you think had the most badass theme song? I was always a big fan of Ninja Storms. Ninja Storms was always fun for me. Trying to think what other ones I love. Zeo always gives me chills, honestly, whenever it comes on. Yeah, those are some of my favorites. I do appreciate Dino Furies. I wouldn't say it's like well, maybe, I guess it might be badass in the sense of like, it really gets you into that like rocker, like, I want to like shake your head type of shit. That's what Dino Fury kind of reminds me of. Doomsday's second question: in Gokaiger's Jetman tribute episode, were you a little upset that Guy Akari wasn't able to see Guy Yuki due to him being a ghost? So that was an episode that I really loved. I really enjoyed. The sad part of it is I have not watched Jetman. That might actually be one of my next series that I tackle after I finish Decker Ranger. We'll see. But Jetman is high on my list of one that I definitely want to check out. Although I've had a lot of requests for Gege Ranger also to do. So it might be like Decker Ranger, Gege Ranger, and then maybe Jetman. I don't know. We'll definitely have to see. But so the relationships and things like that happen in the Jetman series, I'm not too familiar with that. So the idea of some people not being able to see other people Emotionally, I don't know what the big impact of was, but I get it. The idea of like your comrade no longer being around. It probably would have been great to have seen them on screen together. But I will just say, in regards to that Jetman tribute episode, I did love it. As much as there were some things that I didn't connect with me because I didn't watch the series, I really did appreciate that episode for sure. L'Oreal's got a couple questions. What episodes for Dino Fury are you looking forward to? Definitely 13 with the Izzy episode. I'm kind of curious to see what reveals, if anything, they'll have for the Izzy character, whether that's her coming out as part of the LGBTQ community, or if hinting at something, whether she's in love with another female or with another guy, who certainly knows. That is something that I'm really eager to see how they tackle that episode. 14, I'm interested in it simply because of Lord Zed. I want to see what his return is going to look like. Episode 16, because Ion the Gold Ranger will be making his debut in there. So I'm super fascinated about it, along with just the Zato dark past and the dark truths. I want to see anything Rafcon related, and hopefully that helps grow Zato's character in my eyes. Outside of that, episode 19, probably because of the pirate treasure chase, along with Amelia and Pop centric episode. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then, of course, episodes 20 and 21, which seemed to be a buildup towards the finale. The idea of Zato and Ion in episode 20 being on a distant planet together. And then still having to do more revelations and things like that, experiencing nightmares from their past. It looks like that's all building up to then go right into episode 21. Dr. Arcana needing, Rangers needing her help to stop Void Knight's evil scheme, but Ollie disagreeing with Zato's plan, afraid that it'll put his mother in danger. Like, I want to see, like, will Ollie and Zato truly come to odds? Like, what right do you have to put my mom or ask my mom to do something that incredibly dangerous, right? Like, I want to see, will tension start raising high when it comes to, you know, time to go ahead and try and stop Void Knight sort of thing. Those are some of the episodes I'm really looking forward to. What do you think that Void Knight's dark past is, or Zato's dark past is? You know, that's a good question, L'Oreal. What could be Zato's dark past? If you guys have any theories, let me know your theories in the live chat or the comment section box below. Any theories for his dark past or dark truths? I'm wondering if there's something that happened on the battlefield that Zato's not telling us. Was there a moment of fear and he ran from something? Did he leave somebody behind unknowingly? And maybe Ion is bringing that up. Maybe he doesn't know that Zato was unaware. You know what I mean? I'm kind of curious. I don't think it's like Zato killed anybody or whatever the case may be, right? Like, I wonder if it's a misunderstanding of the fact of him leaving maybe somebody behind that he didn't know he left behind. Maybe he had a moment of weakness and fear and hid from something. You know what I mean? I would be interested. What do you think Ion's personality is going to be like? I almost do think that he will be like Canalo, but maybe just not as thirsty. I think it'll probably be an overconfidence issue, if anything. Maybe a little bit of a swag and arrogance about him. Yeah, maybe a selfishness at first, and then he has to learn the ways of being selfless to be a better hero type of thing. Maybe that's the route that we're going. Maybe not so thirsty when it comes to the ladies, but maybe still having that swag and charisma, you know what I mean? But maybe a little bit comes across maybe overly arrogant, flamboyantly confident. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Great questions. Adam Pereira's got a couple questions. This might actually be our last set of questions. Let me just double check. Yeah, I think that is. 3 questions from Adam, my twin from another mother. What do you think about the new episode descriptions for part 2 of Dino Fury season 1? I love them. Do you think they will be good? Someone on social media complained to Simon Bennett, literally tagging him in the new episodes are nothing but lessons of the day. Simon had to reply that they sounded like those who I keep promises, keep many details hidden. Yeah. Yeah, I do think some of these episodes will be good. I mean, like for me, I guess the question I would be like, what part about part one of season one doesn't make people think that this half of season one will be just as good? I mean, is there a possibility that the quality just drops? Absolutely. We saw that firsthand a little bit in Beast Morphers in season two when it came back. The first few episodes a little bit rough, you know what I'm saying? But I think especially when you're getting towards a later half of the season, I think there's more potential for buildup towards a finale that I do think that there's going to be more momentum behind these episodes, if anything, to make them watchable. You know what I'm saying? Like they're almost important enough to watch, but I do think they're going to be good and rather solid. You know, they may not all be barn burners, but I don't necessarily know if there'll be an episode in here where it's just like, bro, this episode was terrible. You know, this episode was bad. It may be solid episode, decent episode, good episode, but I don't know if we'll have like a bad episode. You know what I mean? But I do think there's going to be a mixture of good episodes and excellent ones in there for sure. But so yeah, I just go into it with an open mind. Like you said, I think we highlighted the Simon Says segment earlier in here also, where Simon Bennett said, you know, just don't assume that you know what these episodes are about based off of our deliberately bland synopsises for these episodes, right? Like we want to keep some of these surprises from you guys and storyline plots from you guys. So you literally have to watch the episode to see what we kind of have. So, and I'm a big proponent in that. Never judge a book by its cover. Never judge an episode by its description, because you never know what we're potentially could get in that episode alone. So I love what Simon Bennett had certainly said, respectfully too, right? Like he didn't make this guy feel like an idiot or anything like that. He did it in his proper voice as he possibly could to get his point across. And I think Simon Bennett did that respectfully and very well. What do you think of Zenkaiger this week? The show still very good, or still a bunch of what the F? Still a bunch of what the F for me. Still a bunch of what the F. Me and Zenkaiger have a very love-hate relationship. You know what I mean? There are episodes that I love and I appreciate about a Zenkaiger, but there are other episodes that do absolutely nothing for me, and I have no problem expressing that. I do think that I hurt some people's feelings when I do, because there are some fans that love Zenkaiger, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you love Zenkaiger, that's great. Keep loving the show if you do. I'm just expressing my thoughts on how it certainly hits me. It's certainly not intended to make you guys hate the show or look down upon it. I'm just expressing my own opinions and thoughts on those episodes, and you feel whatever type of way about the episodes that you certainly want to. But for me, it's just very hit or miss. You know, there are days when it's just chaotic and just a ADHD mess where it's just all over the place and it just doesn't want to focus on any one particular thing, and it does very little to push character development or storylines. There are some solidly decent episodes that may not do too much, but have like a really great theme, and they play it up and it's got some solid action and maybe just a hint or a little nugget of information to lead forward. And then they've got great episodes, which I feel tend to be few and far in between, if you will. So it's just an season for me. You know, it's very surface level, you know, not too much depth. Kaido's parents is now just trying to be focused on a little bit, but we still haven't gotten any answers. If anything, more questions and more head scratching moments. So I am waiting for this series to find its footing and really start pushing forward in regards to where are we going with this, right? Where are we going with this? So we'll see. But I love Kaido. There's some really great characters in here. Kaido, I love. Jurin, I'm a big fan of. I do love the sentimental moments when they have them in here. I would like to see more though, more urgency. You know, I haven't seen urgency. The past 2 weeks have felt like vacation episodes. We literally had a vacation episode 2 weeks ago where they did nothing besides have a vacation. Last week's episode was a clip show which wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, because I thought they handled the theme of time traveling with the clip show pretty well. But when Sichin is your main focus of the episode, and then you give us like one little drop of information to get my brain working, I'm just thinking like, okay, I guess what was the point of this episode though overall? So yeah, it's been rough. It feels like it's been on a 2-week hiatus, but this week's episode looks fire. From just a preview alone that I've seen, this week's episode looks like it's going to deliver, and I cannot wait for it. So yeah, I just want people to understand, just because if I may not feel a certain type of way about a show, doesn't mean that I don't get hyped for when I know a good episode is coming. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely do enjoy that aspect of things. Which episode of the new descriptions are you excited for or nervous? Nervous, huh? Probably 17. If anything, if I had to pick, just thinking off the top of my head, 17 and 18 don't seem to tend to do anything for me, really. But again, not to say that there's not going to be something great in those episodes. But 17 and 18 are the ones that maybe make me a little bit nervous. Izzy attempts to hide her struggles with electronics class, putting the Rangers at risk when they rely on those skills during the battle. Again, I'm so used to Ollie being the electronic guy that it feels interesting to me. Why is Izzy being the one to have to carry that burden unless something's happened to Ollie, right? Again, things that we don't know that are going to happen in the episode might surprise us and make for a great episode. And then 17, the idea of Ion getting free ice cream as thanks for a heroic act, and then that those perks go to his head. We'll see. In the sense of worry, I guess it's just, or nervousness. Those are probably maybe the two episodes that jump out to me if I had to pick any. But yeah, I think the one I'm most looking forward to, if I had to pick, like the one I'm anticipating the most, I'm not going to lie, episode 20 is interesting to me. Episode 20, seeking new Zords, Zato is trapped on a distant planet and Ion makes a risky trip to save him. Together, they must confront nightmares of their past before the Zords can be found. I think that's going to be an emotionally riveting one. And the idea that we're visiting a distant planet sounds hella fun to me. So feels different. Feels like a different episode. Again, Simon Bennett himself said his favorite two episodes is 13 and 21, the season finale. Those are his favorites. So I think those are the two episodes we should all be paying attention to. But for me, the one that jumps out, probably episode 20, if I had to be honest with you about my most excited one that I'm into. But I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts. Let's see here. Let me jump into the live chat one more time before we wrap up, because that's actually the end of our live viewer questions, guys. So thank you, everybody, for certainly participating with that today. Isaiah, what was your thought about Go Busters adapted to be Beast Morphers? I was super pumped for it when I first saw the reveal of the Go Busters. It's actually Go Busters, so not Ghostbusters. I know sometimes I trip over my own word, so it's Go Busters, Go-Busters. Go Busters. When they revealed the idea that they were going to be using those suits again, I got so pumped. I was so happy. I always thought Go Busters was such a unique season that I would really love to see how it was adapted, and I thought they did a relatively good job with it. When people do ask me that question of, Adam, which season do you like better, Go Busters or Beast Morphers? It's so hard to have to choose. I always go with Go Busters, but Beast Morphers was such an enjoyable season for me. It's hard to, I don't want to say anything bad about it. Like I really don't. Harka, what's up, Harka? Appreciate you certainly coming through. Emmanuel says, big question, will PR ever film in the U.S. with union actor rules? I do believe so, yes. At some point in time, they will. Whether that be the kid-friendly shows, whether that be Jonathan Entwistle stuff, I highly do recommend. I really do believe that we will be getting PR filmed in the U.S. at some point in time. Yusai's got a couple comments. He says, I mean, the acting has gone up considerably since Neo Saban days with Hasbro, so I don't see trash episodes coming. You know, I agree, at least as far as charisma is concerned and where that can get you. I totally agree with you, Yusai. I think the quality alone of the performances, even if maybe some of the scripts are rather weak, I think the dynamic between the teams and the actors and just their performances really can help elevate some of the material. So yeah, I'm not expecting a trash episode at all, like you mentioned. So yeah, I do expect some good things. Zenkaiger isn't my anticipated watch. I like 5 episodes. I'm like 5 episodes behind, and not even my boy Zox is carrying it for me. It means it definitely a step down from true amazingness of Karamazers. Yeah, it for me, if anything, it highlights how much I miss Karamazer and that cast and that level of storytelling, right? Because even Karamazer, for the most part, was relatively lighthearted. You know what I'm saying? But they did such a freaking great job with just the world building, the lore, the jewels, the personality, the villains in regards to even giving the villain a storyline that certainly was heart-wrenching to a certain extent. They did a great job, man. Great job. Yusai, I hope we see a traditional series again too, because I honestly do like connecting to human actors rather than just suit actors. Also, I do like Kaido, and Jurin is my freaking guy. Gown still bothers me. Yeah, Jurin's my guy too, man. I maybe because he's an older gentleman, you know, maybe I feel like there are moments I can kind of relate to him at times. But yeah, I love Kaido. I think he does great when it comes to just emotional stuff. A great leader, great balance. So yeah, there are some great moments, but I too am really waiting for a more traditional series. And I think maybe the fact that this being a anniversary season, them truly wanting to go ahead and push toy sales, that's what this season feels like. It's anniversary toy sale season. That's what you're going to get out of it. But we'll see. You know, like I'm waiting to see what the second half of the season is going to be like. You know, Real Soldier for me too. I know there are a lot of Real Soldier fans. It was rather weak for me too. I did think that they did themselves some pretty good justice of wrapping up that series. So I'm holding my breath that when it comes to Zenkaiger, that at some point in time, whether that be episode 30 or whatever the case may be, that they really focus on giving us that feeling of a traditional series and wrapping it up with a focus on storyline and action. So we'll see. We'll see though. Blossom says, I'm nervous about the Izzy episode involving the matchmaking thing. I don't know about Izzy coming out. She's my favorite Green Ranger and all, but I'm kind of unsure about this. Well, we'll see what happens, Blossom. You know, we'll see what happens. Whether or not that's going to be the episode that she does, or if they're planting seeds for that to happen in the future, that I don't know. But you know, Simon Bennett does focus on episode 13, so I do wonder if that's definitely going to be a massive focus. So we'll see what happens though. We'll see what happens though, guys. But a lot of stuff to certainly come. Dino Fury is almost here for us here in the States, guys. But remember, over in the UK, they will be getting it, I believe, starting this week, if I'm not mistaken, brand new episodes. So be careful, be very wary over on Twitter if you're trying to avoid spoilers. Maybe mute some of the conversations that have hashtag Dino Fury spoilers, maybe hashtag Power Ranger spoilers. And just remember, do that slow scroll on Twitter. And then when you see a Dino Fury post, be very, very careful. And if you see like there might be potential hints, to just fly past it super quick. So you avoid it, guys. But yeah, other than that, that's definitely going to do it here for us here today at APlus Morphinominal. So thank you very much, guys, for certainly joining us each and every weekend here live, Saturday at noon Central Time. This upcoming Tuesday, certainly expect a brand new Zenkaiger review for us. This week, we'll probably have Dino Vader episode number 3 dropping for you guys this week also. And don't forget, this weekend, we do have ourselves a new Ultraman Trigger episode. So you can expect another Ultraman Trigger review as well, guys. But other than that, that's going to go ahead and do it for us. But until next time, guys, as always, do me a big favor. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And until next week, guys, keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.